Hello, welcome everyone. I'm glad that you're here. So let me know in the comments that you can hear me, you can see everything fine. And let's do this. How about you tell me what's your favorite thing to drink in the comments? We can go tea, what kind of tea, coffee? Maybe we're going a little bit more hard beverages. We do some wine, liquor, beer? Beer's kind of gross. Let me know here in the live chat what you like. So Trisha said IPA, beer. Tony's got malts. Noah said whiskey. Claire said green tea. Green tea with lemon. Awesome. Wonderful. Mrs. Shelton said tea and water. Sydney said cold brew. Ooh, cold brew is a good time. Cold brew makes me feel like a superhero for like 30 minutes, and then it makes me feel like I'm dying. Rob said fake beer. Why fake beer? Why is it fake? I would love to know. Or wait, is fake beer for like um I don't know, enlighten me on fake beer a little bit. Jimmy said water. Ray said water with lemon. Jimmy said blood. Oh, okay, Robbie said less, no alcohol. Well, cool. I think that's awesome that that you're doing that. You know what's going to be best for you, and I think that's fantastic. So there's no shame in that. As long as it tastes good. I think beer tastes like the worst thing in the world. So fake beer sounds like a nightmare to me. Brittany said aloe juice. Interesting. Haven't heard that one. Angelica, black spice tea, red wine, and coffee. Cool, I'm glad you're here. Shaw R. Sykes said your first live. Cool, well, welcome. I am glad that you're here. So what we're gonna do here, I'm glad James agrees with me. Beer tastes so bad and all the same. Yeah, beer, I think beer tastes bad. And you know what's weird about wine too? I think all wine tastes the same. It's all, yeah, I can tell the difference between like red and white and sweet and dry. But when it comes to all the ones in between, I don't know. And I like Chardonnay. Chardonnay's a good time. Anna said first live. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. So let's kind of cover what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about equity. And I know that that sounds super boring. But when we're talking about equity, we're talking about what's the wealth building part of owning a home. Everyone talks about, buying a home can be something that's beneficial for you and your family in the future. Well, why? And it's because of the equity portion in there. And homes are weird. Is there this half mix of investment and half mix of a place to live? And a place to live doesn't have to be an investment for us, but it's cool to see how these numbers can actually work in our favor. And Elzing, you said, actually just subscribed yesterday. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so now. And a thumbs up doesn't hurt. But again, we don't crash in on it. We're just gonna gently come up. We're gonna play the long game with the like button. So maybe we tease a little bit, give it some shoulder, and see if it comes around to liking us first, and then we can pursue it. I think now my strategy with the like button is we're just going to take antiquated dating strategies and use that towards the like button. So we're going to talk about equity. We're going to talk about cash on cash. So when I put a down payment on a home, how much money am I actually going to anticipate getting back if I sell it? Okay, and I think this is going to be pretty cool for you to see. You might feel like a bit of an investor here, even though you didn't really plan on it, which is cool. And then we're going to do some Q&A. Cool? So if you have questions, try to keep the questions right now oriented around what I'm talking about, and then I'll let you know when we do general Q&A. That way I can just make sure if I don't want to miss anything, or if there's anything that's unclear, we can talk about that in here. Okay? Wonderful. So let's talk about how down payments work, and I should probably show you the screen that I'm typing on here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to move my face over to the side so that's not in the way of everything. Okay, and if the text is too small, too big, let me know, and we'll get that corrected here. All right, so first we need to talk about how down payments work. All right, so let's say that we're looking at a home, and let's say this home is let's actually say it's $300,000. Now this might be different in your market. If you're in California, it might be 5 million. If you're in the Midwest, it might be 50,000. So we're gonna say 300,000 here, all right? So this is the home that we want to buy, and it's for sale. Now, you and I, we both don't have $300,000, or else we wouldn't really be talking that much, right? Because we're gearing a lot of this channel around how do we use mortgages and everything like that. But we want to buy this $300,000 house. Okay, so we don't have $300,000 cash, unfortunately, as fun as that would be. So we need to figure out how to come up with this money. And the way that we do that is we end up talking to a lender. And we talk to this lender, we say, hey, I really want to buy this house. However, I don't have $300,000. Could you help me purchase the home? And the lender says, yeah, we'll help you purchase the home. But we want you to put some of your own money in the game, right? You need to put some stake in the game because we don't want to just give the whole $300,000 and then you can go run away and then now we have to go try to get our $300,000 back. So they say, what if you put 10% down? Does that sound fair? You put 10% down and then we'll put up the rest of the 90%. Is that fair? And you say, sure, that sounds fair. Okay, so what we end up doing is we put on a down payment of $30,000. Again, this is all just fake math. You can put in your own numbers here. And the lender provides a loan for the remaining $270. Right? So now what ends up happening is when we go to the seller, we say, hey, we'll give you $300,000 for this house. We're going to take the lender's $270,000 and the down payment, combine them together, and give them to the seller. Now, we don't actually do this. The title company does this for us, okay? But I think it's really, it sounds simple, but it's important to kind of understand how this works. Because sometimes I get people who ask, can't I just put the down payment inside the loan? And I think questions like that are difficult because when we actually understand the terminology behind it, the question doesn't make sense. And I think it comes from maybe a little bit of a lack of understanding of how this is kind of coming together in this process. So it really is us partnering with the lender to pool money together to give to the seller, right? Because the seller is going to get $300,000. We put in 30, and then the lender put in $270,000. Okay. So what's interesting about this is the down payment is actually us kickstarting equity. Okay. And equity can be this weird thing because it starts off being real and then it turns into being theoretical. Okay, so stick with me here. This is kind of why it works this way. So it starts off real, right? It started off as our $30,000 that we put in. We essentially gave this to the seller. Our lender put in $270,000. We gave it to the seller to equal $300,000. Okay, now let's say that down the road it's 5 years later. Okay, so 5 years later, let's say the home's value, we think it's now worth somewhere closer to, let's say, $350. Okay, so we're gonna say $350 is the future value of our home. Now, the main thing here is this is an estimate. Your home's value is never a real thing until somebody actually pays for it. Up until that point, even if we get an appraisal, it's all just an estimate. It's a theoretical number, what we think the home could be sold for. Now we can base this on data and everything like that, but it's still just an estimate. Okay, so we want to figure out how much equity do we have in our house, because this is kind of the wealth building portion of home ownership. But the hard part is the equity doesn't really exist in real life right now, right? I can't go log into something and it tells me what my equity is, like I can a bank account. I can't go mess around with the equity. I can't do anything with it. Right now, it's a theoretical number. And it's because it's based off of the estimate of the future value of our home. So the only number that we actually know is what our loan balance is. Okay, and our loan balance is just what's remaining on our mortgage. So we initially took out a loan of $270. And let's say after 5 years, our loan balance is closer to $250. And this is all just rough math in my head. So it may or may not be close to accurate. So our loan balance is $250, right? So our equity is simply just the difference of the home's value and the loan balance, right? So we take $350 minus $250, and our equity in the home is $100,000. Okay, so we can see how our equity turned from $30,000 in real money that we we gave to the seller to pay for this home. And in 5 years, we now have $100,000 in theoretical equity, right? Again, this is just based off of the estimate here. If somebody paid $360, our equity would now be $110,000, okay? So the equity is simply just the home value minus the loan balance equals the equity, okay? And we'll talk about how like refinancing works here with equity in just a second. But it's interesting to also, if we go back, let's go back in time 5 years ago to when we first purchased this house, right? The lender said, hey, you know, I see you want to buy this $300,000 house, but I'm not comfortable giving you all this money. Think about if you were kind of buying something with a friend of yours. You know, if you and your friend are buying a house, are they going to be the ones that put in all the money? Probably not. You're probably going to split that difference a little bit. Loans work the same way, except the lender's probably not your friend. You can be friendly with them. They're probably not your friend. And they kind of have a set standard for what they're going to do. So what's interesting is most lenders require a minimum down payment for this. It's a risk reason. They don't want to be putting in all the money. They want you to have some risk in it. They want to see that you're actually wanting to purchase this home. You're not just going to go leave. Okay. Now, some lenders, if we're working on a different type of loan, specifically like a government-backed loan, like a VA loan for veterans or USDA loan for rural areas, they'll actually say, you know what? We talked with the government and they told us that if you don't make a down payment and you end up foreclosing, they'll actually pay us back any money that we lost. So in that instance, what they end up doing is they say, you know what? You can put $0 down. We'll front the whole thing for you. Okay? So you'll still be able to collect any appreciation on this property as it grows in value. You'll still have this equity, but you didn't have to put the down payment up to begin with. Okay, so you can see how any growth that we get in our home, which is called appreciation, is money that we get to keep. The lender only gets the money back here in this loan. And so instead of them collecting the appreciation on your home, that's where they collect interest, right? Because we didn't just pay $50,000 to go from $300 to $250, right? We paid a lot more in the interest payment. By having the luxury of gaining equity of $100,000, we had to pay the cost of interest to be able to have that benefit coming in. Okay, is this making sense? If so, leave like a thumbs up in the chat, or just say makes sense, or can we go over it again, or something like that. That way I know we're kind of on track here. So let's talk about refinancing and how this works. So when we're refinancing a home, equity plays a huge portion in what's going on. And someone asked if we can go over it again. Yeah, I'll do a quick recap here in just a sec. So with refinancing, equity, you know, everyone keeps talking about equity, equity, equity. And the hard thing is, again, it's this fake number. I can't go anywhere and find, you know, what my equity of my home is. Because again, this is the equation to figure out equity. We know this number, but this number is an estimate. And so that's where we have to kind of play into figuring out what our home's value is. And this is where appraisals come in handy. So a good example is if we're going to refinance, and let's say we refinance and we want to do a cash out conventional refinance. And that's where we get money from our mortgage. So maybe we have this $100,000, but we want to go pay off, let's say we have 10 grand of credit card debt, and we want to go pay off some debt, right? We have this equity here, but we can't go to a bank, right? There's no bank for our home's equity that we can go tap into. Instead, what we have to do is we have to refinance our house. We have to refinance the first mortgage to get cash out of it, okay? And so what we end up doing is we increase the loan balance and we decrease the equity, all right? So let me make this a little bit bigger. So if we're doing a cash out conventional refinance, what we do is we increase the loan balance, we lower the equity, equity, and then we receive the cash difference. Okay? So, for instance, let's say we had the $10,000 worth of credit card debt. Well, our equity right now is $100,000. Okay? We're estimating our home's value is $350,000. Okay, and this is maybe from some estimates that we got, or we did an appraisal, or something like that, or we could see what other homes are selling for. So we know our home's worth about $350,000. So to get $10,000 cash, let's just go ahead and put that in here. Let's say we want $10,000 in cash. Okay, so at the closing table, lender's going to give us a check for $10,000. So to do that, we have to increase our loan balance by $10,000, right? So we have to go from $250,000 to $260,000. Right now, obviously, our payment's going to go up because our loan balance is higher. And our equity, that theoretical equity, decreases by $10,000. So now we're at $90,000 equity, right? So we got $10,000 in cash with $90,000 in equity. Still $100,000, right? That's included in our net worth, but they just take different forms. And if we ever wanted to tap into that cash again, we would need to do something like a cash out again. Okay, and that's an entire refinance. So that includes, cash out refinances do have closing costs. You have to keep in mind there. Now let's talk about another scenario. This was a cash out refinance. Make that a little bit bolder. So that's a cash out refinance. Let's talk about a home equity line of credit. Okay, and this is, think of this like a credit card for your mortgage. Okay, that's a really easy way to think about it. It's a line of credit. So what we end up doing is we talk to the bank and we say, hey, we want to pull out a home equity line of credit. We want to get a line of credit against the equity of our home. And so what they'll do is, the process is a lot easier than going through a traditional refinance, but they'll take a look. What equity do you have in your house? Okay, and we said we have $100,000 in equity. Ooh, oops. We have $100,000. Why is this scrolling upwards? Why do this? We have $100,000 in equity. Now, what they're going to do, sorry, I don't know why my mouse is moving this around so much. Okay, I'll put this down here. $100,000 in equity is what we have right now. Now, this company might say, we're only going to let you borrow total up to 90% of your home's value. Okay, so if they tell us that, 90% of our home's value, well, our home's value is $350,000. So to find that number, we're going to multiply the two together. Okay, so we can take 350 times 0.9. So we can see the total that they'll allow us to borrow is $315,000. Let's see. So 315,000, okay? So now we have to do some reverse math, all right? And stick with me. I know this might seem a little bit confusing, but that's the maximum that when they say to us, we'll let you take out money, but we don't want you to carry more than $350,000 worth of debt on this home. So our loan balance is already $250,000. So now we have to figure out the max that they'll let us get. So we just find the difference. 315 minus 250 is 65. Okay, so they'll give us a $65,000 line of credit, and we still have our $250,000 first mortgage. So this line of credit starts out at 0, and then we can go add and pay it off. A line of credit is a lot more functional than a cash out, right? In the cash out, we got this literally in cash, right? We can go put it back in, but we already changed the entire loan, right? We changed the loan to $260,000. With something like a home equity line of credit, we can still pull out the same amount, $10,000 in cash if we wanted to, but we could also pull all the way up to $65,000 in cash, right? And we didn't touch our first mortgage here. So these are two different ways that we can play around with the equity of the home. The other way is also to sell, right? When we sell, we get access to the home equity, okay? Before we move on, And I'm gonna do a quick recap here of equity in a second. Making sense? Periodically, let me know. I know sometimes when I'm going through this, it gets a little quiet in the comments. I just want to make sure I'm not losing anybody, and that we're all on the same track. And then I'll come around to some questions about this here in a second. So just to recap on our equity here, and what this means when we first do it. Our down payment's kickstarting the equity in the home, okay? So when we want to purchase this $300,000 house, we don't have $300,000. So we talk to a lender and we say, hey, we want to get a loan. And they say, great, we'll give you $270,000 if you put in $30,000 of your own money, right? We're going in it together. Then we pool our money together and give it to the seller. And again, we're not the ones doing it. The title company makes this all happen. What will happen at closing is you'll come in with a check for $30,000, and then the lender will have wired over their $270,000 to the title company, and the title company will pull that together and give it to the seller. Okay, the seller doesn't see any of it. They just get a check for $300,000, and they frankly normally don't really care how that money gets tied together. And lenders say different things here, right? This is where these different loans come into play. Conventional loans say they want a minimum of 3% down. FHA loans want a minimum of 3.5% down. USDA and VA want 0% down, okay? And so our equity is always just gonna be our loan balance, our home value minus the loan balance equals the equity, okay? So let me tap through some questions here, and then we're gonna talk about cash on cash return, which is gonna be really cool. So, someone asked, are we live? This is live, yep. Angela says, looks good. Toby says, making sense, wonderful. Does a home equity line of credit have a similar interest rate to a mortgage, or is its own separate interest rate? Normally, they're going to be very similar. Cash out is going to tend to have a higher interest rate than a rate and term. HELOC, as it's often called, home equity line of credit, is usually going to have something that's similar to a rate and term type of rate. Okay. Louise asks, why do you help out so much? I like helping. So what I found working as a loan officer was that this process is just really confusing for people, and it would just create so much headache and stress. And so I figured, this stuff here is not groundbreaking information, right? This all exists all over the internet, but it's confusing. It can be hard to digest, and so I wanted to kind of come in and see how I could help add into alleviating some of the chaos going on there. Cool. Rabbit, you asked what can folks qualify for first, HELOC or cash out in terms of hitting necessary equity, or are they usually the same? Great question. So HELOCs normally will require a lot less equity. So let's back up a little bit. A rate and term refinance is where we're not touching our equity at all. We're just changing the rate of the loan. Okay, so we didn't affect the equity at all. Now, sometimes with a rate and term refinance, you can wrap your closing costs into the loan. With refinances, you can wrap closing costs in, unlike a purchase. Rate and term refinances normally only need like 5% equity. Okay, so you normally already have that. HELOCs tend to be around the 10% range. Cash out refinances tend to be around the 20% range, right? So if we're talking about this cash out, if we said let me reset these numbers. If we said our loan balance was 250, our current loan balance is 250 and our home value is 350. Normally a cash out is going to require us to do 20% minimum equity in the home at all times. And so what that would look like is $250,000 times 0.8. So the opposite of that, this is the max amount that we can have total loan. So we already have 250. So 280 minus 250 is 30. So the max here on a cash out would be 30,000 versus on a HELOC would be closer to 65, right? So we can see that really big difference going on. Cash outs are going to be better for if we're using that money for long-term investments. HELOCs are going to be better for using that money for short-term investments, quick paying off debt and things like that. Sydney asks, will the interest rate always be lowering when you refi? Not all the time. So it's not uncommon. Now, with how low interest rates are now, if you're refinancing, odds are you're probably getting a lower interest rate than what you have. But it's not uncommon for somebody to get a cash out, right? Maybe they're paying off a bunch of debt and they went from a 3% interest rate to a 3.5% interest rate, because cash outs are more risky to the lender because we took out so much equity, right? And the equity is the thing that helps the lender feel more confident that they're going to lose less and less and less money the longer you have it, the more equity you have if you default on your loan. So that's why those rates can tend to be higher. But for the most part, you want to try to refinance and get a lower rate if you're refinancing that first loan. So on a cash out, we're refinancing this entire loan balance and ending up getting a new rate, right? Over here, we keep the same rate, right? Because we don't refinance the first mortgage. We just get a second mortgage, that's what that's called, as a line of credit on there. And then how long do you have to wait for FHA loan refinancing? Normally 6 months is what you're looking for. Cool. So I do see some questions that are more general. So we'll get to that here in just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and jump over into cash on cash return, which is kind of cool. And what cash on cash return is we invested $30,000 in the property. Into this home, and obviously this is a place we're living. Okay, so it doesn't need to be this like Wolf of Wall Street type of investment. Okay, we want a nice place to live, something that's going to provide some nice shelter and comfort for us and our family. However, it is interesting to see how these numbers work out for us. So I kind of made this quick demo here to talk through how cash on cash return works. And cash on cash return is basically saying how much money did we put in versus how much money are we getting back. And the reason why this is so important to look at with real estate is that we leveraged a lot, right? We may have put in $30,000, but we borrowed $270,000, okay? So even though the home appreciates at a certain rate, it's not telling us how much money we're getting back, right? So let me walk you through this calculator. Don't get too overwhelmed by it. We'll talk through this. So the house we're looking to buy, $300,000. We put a down payment of $30,000. And again, you can change this. If this was 5%, we could do 15. Okay, we're just gonna do 30,000 since it's a little bit easier math, right? 10%. Now our closing costs, we're gonna say these were 6,000. This is things like title, taxes, insurance, recording fees, anything like that came along with the property. Now, in the future, this home is going to be worth something. It's going to appreciate most of the time. And so in here, you could put in any number you wanted to, right? You don't have to have a formula to figure this out. I'm just using a formula to kind of give a general idea. So I'm using a really simple, this is just a compound interest formula. Okay, I'm saying if we earned 4% interest over 10 years. Now let's actually change this because forecasted appreciation for 2021 is 6%. So based on forecasted appreciation for this upcoming year, if you bought a home today for $300,000, by December 2021, it should be worth somewhere around $318,000. Okay. So if we take a look at what's happening here, let's take a look at how much cash we gained on this house. So let's say 1 year in the future, we can see the home's value increased by $18,000, right? We put in 30 and it increased 18,000. So our gross cash on cash is 50%. That's a 50% return on our investment, right? We put in 30. Where else can you go put in $30,000 and somebody a year later gives you $18,000 in addition to the 30,000, right? Not many places. That's a 50% return. Stock market historically is going to average somewhere around 7% over a 50-year period. Okay, 50% return in 1 year is pretty good. But the story is a little bit more nuanced than that. Because to get the opportunity, right? We talked about this earlier with the, to get this opportunity to earn this equity. Like we got $18,000. That's pretty good. We had to pay interest on that money, right? We took out a loan for $270,000, this difference, but the lender wasn't just going to give us $270,000 of their own money and not expect anything back. So in that 1 year, we had to pay $8,000 worth of interest, right? Through our monthly payments, we paid a total of $8,000 in interest. And for any Excel nerds, this is you can use a cumulative interest payment. So this formula just basically says, hey, 30-year loan, 3% rate. This is how much interest you paid during that time. So, and this is just in a 1-year period. You can see over the period of 30 years, this is how much interest we pay. So we're just going to stick to 1. So in 1 year, we earned $18,000, but to have the ability to earn that $18,000, we had to pay $8,000. All right. So our net cash on cash is actually $9,000. Okay. It looks like we earned 18, but we actually earned 9 because we had to pay $8,000 to be able to earn the 18. So our net cash on cash is $28,000. Right. So theoretically, here's what happened. We bought a home and we took $30,000 of our hard-earned cash, which is not fun to give up, right? We put in $30,000, and at the end of year 1, we have an additional $9,000, almost $10,000 that we gained on our house, okay? Just in appreciation, all right? And these are like 6% appreciation is what's been forecasted. This is pretty average for what we saw in 2020. So let's see what would happen if maybe let's make a little bit more conservative number and look over a period of 5 years. So our home's value increased by almost $65,000, which is 181% gross increase. Now, to earn the 64 or the 65, we had to pay $38,000 in interest. All right, and so this is why I think it's important to see like these numbers work together. We often see the interest rate, but we forget about how appreciation works for us too. And so it can feel like, the lender's stealing my money. But what they're doing is actually something pretty incredible. When we take a look at like what's actually going on here. Somebody is willing to say like, you only put this little amount of money in the property. We'll let you can collect all the money on the gain of it. We just want you to pay us a little portion to go towards the interest. Right? So, at the end of the day, if somebody told you, hey, I'll give you $65,000, but you have to pay me $38,000 for it, would you do that? That doesn't sound like a terrible deal to me, especially when this isn't really an investment for you. This is more of a just place that you're living in. It happens to gain and appreciate value, right? So in this instance, over a 5-year period, we're seeing a 74% increase in our money. Right, we put in $36,000 total, and we're receiving an additional almost $27,000 back. Okay, we cool? Following? Everyone good with that? Yes, no, makes sense, doesn't make sense. Tracking, Toby's tracking, awesome. Zach's got it, wonderful. Cool. So one other thing that we have to consider in here is the cost of selling, right? Because $26,000, this is additional equity that we earned in the home, right? We still paid down the principal of the loan, so we still have all of that other money in there. But we're not going to talk about that in here because we just want to see the actual growth on our money, not the money that we've already been putting in and paying towards principal. Because all this time in 5 years, we've been paying down our loan balance almost in the same way that we would be putting money away into a bank, okay? And so I don't really want to talk about the money that we've already paid in principal. I want to only talk about the money that we actually earned through appreciation here and the difference of appreciation and the rate that we pay on our interest. All right. And so BFITS asked, so this is why they say it's not worth it to buy and sell before 5 years. Most of the time, yes, if we're buying and then selling within a short period of time, and I'll show you how interesting this is when we talk about the cost to sell. we don't get these numbers working in our favor as much because it takes us a little bit of time to gain some of that appreciation, especially to cover the cost to sell. So, excuse me, let's talk about the cost to sell here. So you can choose to work with a realtor or not. It's completely up to you. However, most people tend to pay around 6% to have a realtor represent the sale side and then to also pay for the buyer's realtor. That's what's average and customary across the nation for most deals. You can choose to work with a realtor or not. That's not what we're talking about here today. So what I did in here is I took the future value and multiplied it times 6%. This is how much it would cost us to pay for our realtor and the buyer's realtor if we, excuse me, if we were both working with a realtor, okay? So at 4% appreciation, let's say that we bought the house and wanted to sell within 2 years. Well, our net cash is $8,600 and the commissions are $19,000. So we almost have to come up with an additional $10,000. Now, we probably already have that in our principal that we've been paying in, but at that point, the home became a net loss for us, right? If we have to tap into the principal that we've been paying into the mortgage, that's the point where we lost money on the home. But what ends up happening is the way appreciation works is we kind of look through this through the years. So year 3 doesn't make sense. Year 4 coming close. It's somewhere around, yeah, it's like April of year 4 is when our home's appreciation covers the cost of the realtor or of the realtors, okay? Now this changes significantly if we see appreciation closer to 6%, which is probably what we're going to be seeing over the next few years. We can see that within a period of 2 years, the realtor gets paid for just through the appreciation, right? We didn't have to pull anything out of pocket. So when we close on the home and it might seem like we're paying for a realtor, it might seem like it's really expensive, the realtor got paid for simply by us just living in the home for 2 years and collecting on that appreciation. Everything after that is our own gain, right? So if this becomes 5 years, we can see, you know, this difference here is you know, a net gain of $39,000 extra cash that we get to have simply for just having lived in the home, and that's factoring in our cost of paying interest. So this is how it's just really interesting to see some of these numbers and how they work together. But you know, a realtor effectively gets paid for after 2 years, and you don't have to pay any extra money. Now, this is money that you probably could keep in your pocket, but you come at the cost of potentially doing something wrong in the real estate transaction. George said possibly capital gains tax. So capital gains tax, I believe you don't have to pay if under $250,000. Let me look up what it is because I don't have that in my mind. Capital gains on primary residence. It's pretty lenient. And I believe that's if you've been in your home for a certain period of years. $250,000 if it's a primary residence, or up to $500,000 if they're married and filed a joint return. A homeowner has to live in the property for 2 of the last 5 years. Yep. Cool. So if you live in the home for 2 years, and you know that's $250,000, you know, $500,000 capital gains, you're not going to run into unless you're way in the future and your home is worth, you know, more than that and you have it close to paid off. So most of the time you're probably not going to run into capital gains on your primary residence, unless you also have other large capital gains that would contribute to that. I'm not sure if it works that way. I'm not super skilled on the tax side, but cool. Is there any scenarios that anybody wanted to run in here that can kind of plug in really quickly? If you let me know, like appreciation, house, down payment, years, stuff like that. I can plug in these numbers really quickly if you'd like me to. And I'm gonna go refill up on some tea water, and I'll be back in just a sec. Can we download the spreadsheet? I don't have it as something that can be downloaded right now. But I can make it. Don't make us do math. All right, fine, fine. Let me make a task here to turn this into a spreadsheet. Make spreadsheets downloadable. It takes me a little bit of time. I have to put it into a Google Sheet and all that jazz. So I will convert this into a spreadsheet. And what I will do is make sure if you're on the live stream list, I'll go ahead and text it out to everybody when it's done. Zach said your students are lazy. That's okay. I really like spreadsheets. I think they're super fun to build. But I also recognize that everyone's not as much of a masochist as I am when it comes to spreadsheets. So I will convert this into a spreadsheet. If you're already on the live list, like if you got a text for this live, you're already on the list, and I'll send it out. But I'm going to send it out to the live list. So if you're not there, just text. I think I can pull my phone number up here. It's a little bit hard to see, isn't it? So if you want this list or you want this spreadsheet, text this number. Where's it at? Over here. Text hashtag live to 937-358-6542. And then when I put it out, I'll send out the link to everybody, and then you can get that downloaded, okay? So we won't run through an example here then, since I'll let you guys have it. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking maybe I should convert this into something I can share. But then I thought, nobody will want this. Maybe I'll clean it up a little bit so it's a little bit easier to understand. So make sure you're on this list. If you got a text already for this live, you're on it. You're not going to get off of it. So make sure you're on there. I'll send the link out to everybody, and then you can play around with it. Okay. Yeah, Angelica, I did think wrong. I thought nobody was going to really want this because it's a little bit boring. Equity is kind of boring, but it is cool to see the cash and cash a little bit. And I'll probably customize it so you can put in maybe some loan terms and stuff like that. Cool. So we're gonna hop into a Q&A here in just a sec. One quick thing on this number here. This number does two things. It's kind of cool. It does, not only does it do some of these auto texts, like I can put you on certain lists for things like that. If you're on the live list, you'll get a notification when I go live and text in questions through there and stuff. But then it also comes into me. Like I can see all of your texts and I've replied to everyone so far, except the ones that have come in within the last hour or two. But I've only had this number for literally 2 weeks, and we already have about 350 people on there. So give me just a little bit of grace replying to you. Sometimes it takes me a couple hours to catch up with everything, just because there's a lot of texts and questions coming in. So you're definitely allowed to ask questions. Try to keep them general. I can't do like scenario questions, but general stuff is perfectly on the table. So let me switch this back to my face here. George, you said here in Canada, slightly different, no taxes on disposal, no cap provided it's primary and lived in. Huh. And if you rented out for any duration, it's taxable on a prorated basis. Interesting. Yeah, I think for most people, like, you're not going to run into capital gains tax on a primary residence very much. You know, 250,000 for single, and what was it, 500,000 for, you know, uh, married filing jointly is going to be pretty hard hit for most people, I believe. All right. Let me open up some of these texts here. I'm sure I've missed a few. Oh, cool. So I can see a lot of people just texted in. So Jeff, Sam, Kathy, and Alicia, I believe. For Tari, Samuel, Chandler, Rob, Justin, Averill, Angelica, Joshua, wonderful. Cool. Well, you're welcome to text in a question here to this number. And I have all your questions literally sitting right here. And we can kind of go through those. So Jeff asked, can you take out a loan and use the equity in the house as collateral? So that would be something like a home equity line of credit, because a home equity line of credit is just that. It's a line of credit against the equity in your home, like we talked about in one of those previous examples. So you would use the HELOC to then go purchase something. The nice thing about a HELOC is there's no limit really on what you can go buy with it. You can go pull out a HELOC and pay it. You can go vacation if you wanted to. You could pay off debt. You could use it as an emergency fund. Like there's tons of things you can do with it. Doesn't mean it's smart, right? Probably not a good financial choice to use a HELOC to fund your vacation, but it's an option, right? So that's effectively where you're using your equity as collateral to purchase literally whatever you wanted to with a HELOC. Angelica asked, "What's your tea of choice?" Right now, I'm drinking it's Sleepy Time tea from, what company is it? I don't remember, but it's super good. It's just it's a nice nighttime tea without any caffeine. Otherwise, I'd be up for forever. I already have a hard time sleeping, so you put in caffeine and I'm done. One quick thing too, if this is your first time texting in, it probably isn't going to send you an autoresponder unless you text it in twice. I have our tech team kind of trying to figure out what's going on there. You'll still be added to the live list. It just won't give you a notification. So you can double text live. You can text #live again, just to make sure that you're on that list. I'm not sure why that's working or why it's not working. They're trying to figure that out. Ooh, Celestial Seasonings. That's what it is. Sleepy Time tea. And again, I figured out a live, when was it? A couple months ago, or maybe a month or two ago. I kept hearing these noises, and it sounded like somebody was in the building. It's 9 here. Nobody should be in the office. But I kept hearing voices. And there was one point where I got up and was trying to figure out what's going on. There's a parking lot back here. And there's also a salon over here somewhere too. And I think I figured out it's people in this parking lot. They're talking, but it's terrifying to not realize that. And then they go, why are there children's voices? Yeah, no ghosts, unfortunately, as fun as that would be. Okay. Impression Q said, "Hello from Ukraine." Hello. All right, so Sam, spouse has no income or credit, but does have a lot of savings. Should I put them on the loan or just do it myself? I can most certainly qualify a loan, but savings might help. So what is, let me gather my thoughts here. There's no need for her, I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume. There's no need for your spouse to be on the loan. What the way you can use those assets is 2 ways. The first one would be if you're on a joint account together. So if you're on a joint bank account and all of those savings that are in there, you also have access to, then what would happen is your spouse would write a 100% access letter. It's just a little short sentence or two that says, Sam has 100% access to the account and this in connection with a mortgage fund. If you don't have a joint account, then your spouse can provide a gift. And it's really easy to document. Normally it's just going to be a gift letter saying, your spouse gives you this money with no expectation of repayment, all that kind of jazz, and then just have your spouse wire those funds directly to the title company, and you should be good. Like, yeah, George just mentioned, if you do add your spouse on there, you do have to include their debts and their credit score if it's lower, which for some people might not be an issue. Another thing to watch out for is if you add a spouse on for no reason, like, they're not helping or they're not hurting the loan in terms of you qualifying or the interest rate you can get. It's really just, it's a better game plan to only have one person on the loan, as few people on the loan as possible. Because, let's run through a worst case scenario. So, Sam, you're on the loan and you're on it with your spouse, okay? And something crazy like COVID happens, and now you're out of a job and you can't pay your mortgage anymore. And let's say forbearance doesn't exist and all that stuff. And you miss a payment, or worse, you foreclose. Now that's on both of your credits. Now let's rewind a couple years and we say, Sam, you only went on the loan by yourself. And then let's say a missed payment happened. Well, your spouse's credit does not get affected. So that's why it can be nice to have that kind of as just a, if somebody doesn't need to be on a loan, let's not put them on the loan. At least in my mind, it kind of gives us a nice little safety net or kind of backup, worst case scenario, if we need it. Zach asked, when buying a new home build from a community builder, not a custom build, what all is required before building starts? Deposits needed? Will I need to be pre-approved before building begins? Most of the time, all community builders can be a little bit different, but they're probably going to be building homes pretty quickly. Whether you start them or not, they'll probably begin on it since they're not necessarily custom built. It just depends on the timeline of the builder and how quickly they're wanting to get that project done. But you will need a pre-approval. Okay, they're most likely going to want to get you pre-approved with their in-house lender, which normally you can get some credits by working with them. You are going to need a deposit most of the time. Most of the time I see builders like this want around 10%, and this deposit is going to be contributed towards your down payment. All right. So, if you were doing 10% down payment, you already put that down. All right. And there are some stipulations with deposits normally, like if you just back out for no reason, then they might spell out in their contract if they can retain that money or not. So be careful of that. Really, the only other cost that you would need in there, and not necessarily need, but you might run into, is an inspection cost. If you choose to do an optional inspection, which I personally would do, right? I don't know anything about construction. I can fix a leaky toilet if I look up a video on YouTube, but when it comes to did somebody build this properly? I couldn't tell you. So I personally would like an inspection, because even if it's a newly built home, it's not going to be perfect. No home is ever perfect. Even if it's a $900,000 custom built home, it's still going to have issues with it because homes are complex, and they're built in the weather and everything like that. So. Annalisa, you asked, with your income, what could you get as a loan? So I have a calculator that tells you that. So you can text #maxprice to this number. I always mess up where it's at. Text #maxprice to that number, and I'll send you a Google Sheet calculator. And you can put in all your numbers and debts, and it'll show you the max price there. Kathy asked, I bought a home in 2019. Since it's less than 2 years, do I have to pay capital gains tax? And I'm not sure about that. Let me look this up real quick. Capital gains tax. I'm not super knowledgeable when it comes to the tax side. Let's see. I'm looking this up. Here's Don't you hate that simple questions like this are like, why is the answer easier than this? Why are taxes and everything so complicated? Okay, so it looks like if you sell the home for a profit, so if you receive a check at closing, and you've owned it for less than 2 years, you will need to pay capital gains tax on the profit of that house. Okay, so it looks like that's the unfortunate answer there. And you did ask a follow-up question to, would it be subtracted from what went to the realtor? So it's only going to be on the the net check that you would receive at closing. And it would be something that gets paid when you file taxes, not actually at the time. It's not going to be like a sales tax that's going to be filed um, at the time of closing. It's going to be done at the end of the year. Yeah, you said it may make it complicated on purpose. It sure feels that way, doesn't it? You know what's frustrating is that it's like the government knows what you're supposed to be paying in taxes, and you're like, cool. Can you like help me figure that out? No, we'll let you figure it out, but if you mess it up, we're going to penalize you for it. It's a little frustrating. Taxes are uh, a nuisance. I don't mind paying taxes. I think taxes pay for a lot of great things. The fact that if this building catches on fire, somebody's going to come and put out the fire. That's awesome. There's so many great things about taxes, but the complexity inside of taxes is what is the frustrating part. Okay, let me scroll back here. I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments or any questions. Toby, you said I'm contemplating selling my rental property before I have to pay capital gains. I believe, can't you do a 1031 tax exchange to push that into another investment to not pay capital gains tax on that? I believe that's a thing that you can do. Again, tax world is a little out of my territory. I wish I was a little bit more skilled at this or at the tax side. Um, let's see. Jacob said, "I look forward to your lives like how I look forward to payday." Man, that is I'll take it. I'll take the compliment there. I don't think the lives are as exciting as payday, but payday is certainly nice. Vincent said, "Say I buy a fixer-upper with conventional. I add equity into it with my money, like new HVAC, carpet, roof, etc. When I refinance, do I get any money back or just lower monthly payments?" It depends what type of refinance you're doing. If you're doing a cash out, then you can pull the cash out on that new appraised value, right? If you increased the home value through the improvements that you made, you can pull a cash out to you can pull 80% of your home's value in a cash back. Or I'm sorry, cash out refinance, not cash back. With the rate and term refinances, you're not affecting the equity at all. You're only lowering monthly payments with a rate and term refinance. I will tell you the bad thing about this streaming software that I use is it like whenever somebody thumbs up or thumbs down, it does this big thing across the screen for me. And so somebody thumbs down and just goes, "Coo." It's like, oh man, what a good way to knock you down a peg. It's just here's a big thumbs down right across your screen. Okay. Rob, you said, saw the seller disclosure on a property we like. Fixer upper for sure. They listed unknown for nearly all the yes/no questions regarding property conditions. Is it a bank? If it's a bank or an asset management company, then that's fairly common, particularly if it was a foreclosure. That can be pretty common. Definitely want to get an inspection to make sure you're going to be good to go there, and talk with the realtor about appraisal possibility as well. And if there's going to be any red flags with the appraisal, because if you're having these unknowns on the seller disclosure, there's probably a good chance that there's some things that might need to be fixed on an appraisal, okay, depending on the type of the loan that you use. And we got Javier Vidania in here. Man, how are you doing, man? Hey, if you're free, you might as well let me know and hop on here with me. I think we're gonna have to pull let's pull Javier Simp Hour, I think is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start doing Thursday live streams with Javier Simp Hour. Javier Vidania's got a YouTube channel that is fantastic. I imagine most of you are very familiar with Javier, but fantastic guy. So definitely check out his stuff if you're not familiar with him. Yes, you're down. Cool. Let me grab my headphones real quick. Yeah. I'm not as like tech savvy as you, Javier, so you gotta give me some grace with what we got going on. Oops. All right. Cool. Just sent you that link. I'm gonna try to see if I get my headphones connected up here. Okay, we'll see. All right, so while we wait for Javier to jump in, I'll kind of run through some more questions here. Veronica, you asked any question or any thoughts on affordable housing programs. I think it depends on what housing programs you're talking about specifically. One second, I'm getting like a feedback in my own headphones. What's going on here? Oh, okay, there we go. It's because I have YouTube in a different browser. I'm telling you, the live streaming stuff kind of confuses me a little bit. So affordable housing programs, it depends what you're talking about specifically. But I can talk about, something like down payment assistance programs tend to have what they call a silent second lien on them, which I've seen a lot of down payment assistance programs where somebody won't be able to sell the home within a certain period of years, maybe 5 to 7 years, without you having to pay that money back. And so that's where it can kind of trap you in a little bit. You get this money up front, but you end up having to give it back at some point, normally through a higher interest rate or something where you get kind of trapped into the home a little bit. Does forbearance hurt you when going to refinance? How long should you wait to refinance if taken out of forbearance? This is going to depend a lot on your specific situation. Normally, a lender wants to see that you've had 3 on-time payments being outside of forbearance before they're going to let you refinance into a new loan. Have you seen a lot of low appraisals come back lately? So low appraisals have been a thing, unfortunately, for the past few months. It seems like they're tapering off just a little bit, at least around here in the Dayton, Ohio market. But just because of the crazy overbidding that's happening is, home values are increasing, but some of the overbidding is way more aggressive than the increase actually is. So that can cause some low appraisals. But what I'm seeing are people putting in like escalation clauses and things where they're willing to pay the difference. If something appraises low, they'll actually pay the difference to come up to the increased purchase price, which is nuts. Man, Javier, I'm just now seeing this question. Forever an obsessed Seagraver. Let's not use that one. Oh wait, here you are. Let's see. Let's see if I can add you. Add right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Are you okay? It sounded like something just crashed in the back.
I think that was the door crashing
Oh, well, that's not
behind
good.
me. My bad. Hold on. Am I live now?
Nope, not yet. Are
Okay.
you good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm ready to go.
There we go. I have your comment up here on screen. Javier Vidania.
Hi, guys. I don't need to do this a lot. I'm a little nervous, but that's okay. There you go.
Oh, stop. You're not nervous.
I am totally nervous.
The only thing I'm nervous about is the door behind you that seems to just open and close on its own.
Oh yeah, let's put that to rest. That was my daughter that just went in and out,
Oh, was it?
and it was clever editing.
Well, now I'm upset, man, with the your camera looks so much better than mine.
You know, I
What's up
already
with
told you how to
this?
do it. You have a nice camera. You just need a capture card.
I have one. I'm just too lazy to go over there and do it because I need a longer cable. And man, I just can't do that. I'm too lazy right now. How you been?
Nice. I'm good. I mean, yeah, we talk every day. So why are we faking like we haven't talked to each other?
I
Oh
know.
yeah,
I
Kyle, it's been
know.
a while, man. It's been good. I've lost some hair, getting chunkier.
Did you? You're not losing
But no,
hair.
no, I'm not yet. Not yet. Hopefully, I'm not a
No.
bald guy. There's
No.
that. There's that. That black screen in the back again. You see that?
Yeah, the little bar.
Yeah, I'm not. I think
Uh,
it's the shutter speed. Is it
is
high
that what it
shutter
is?
speed?
I thought you figured that out with like the silent shutter,
I
or was
did, but ever since I upgraded the camera, it's been happening again. Sorry, guys. My bad. This is your show. I'm here to support you. How can I help you today?
cool. Well, I'm sure most people know who you are. I'm judging by the comments too. I think everyone knows who you are. Yeah. Biggest crossover since Endgame. What's Endgame? Fill me in on Endgame.
Oh my god, Kyle. How are you? You act like a 50-year-old man, dude.
I am, man. I am
Avengers Endgame, man.
in internally I am a 50-year-old man.
You are. I was trying to play games with Kyle the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I play Pac-Man, Ping, I play Pong on the side, I play
I I I only exclusively use the old like little button and joystick ones. I have the big
yep.
what are those called? I don't even know. I don't even
Atari."
know.
Someone says it's my ceiling light. Let me try that out.
Hmm.
I didn't know you go live, man. I like your setup. I like your vibe.
Well, thanks. It's pretty chill. Nothing too crazy here. Um, I'll throw Dorian's chat up here real quick. What's the return on house remodels? I want to do a nice walk-in shower. Is it worth the investment? Oh, you're from Dayton. That's awesome. Uh, what do you think, Javier? Return on house remodels? Specifically a walk-in
Um,
shower.
a lot of people think, hey, if I spend $5,000 in the kitchen, I'm gonna get $5,000 back. It's a lot more complicated than that. You want to look at what houses are selling for in your neighborhood. If there hasn't been a single remodel in your area and you decide to remodel, you're not going to get any extra. You're going to guess maybe if you can get a little more based on that. So, But then there could be a remodeled kitchen in your neighborhood that's sold for 30,000 more. That's way over than the 5K you spent. So it's a lot more complicated than what your money you're getting back. So most of the time, though, I would say if you do the right remodel, you could double or triple your money back. But it's always depending on your area.
I love it. And Javier, when are we gonna do a collab? When's that gonna happen?
Well, it depends if you're not going to get food poisoning whenever we come do live.
Hey, that was one time, and I'm
I
never
was
gonna
like
blame it
texting me like,
on.
"Hey, bro, you ready? You ready?"
I'm never
Like,
gonna blame it
sorry,
on my own
man.
cooking. Even though maybe I do some questionable things when I cook on my own. Maybe I should
So
probably wash my hands a
Kyle
little
was
bit more.
supposed to. We were supposed to do a collab, and then the night before, he's on Instagram making like homemade pasta. And all right, of course he makes homemade pasta. Next day, he told me, "Hey, be up at 8 a.m. We're gonna record. I'll
Is
call
that what I
you."
said?
I show up. No, I show up. I'm waiting. I'm like looking outside the window. Is he gonna come? What's going on? Never shows up. Leaves me on the outside.
Oh my gosh, you'd freak out if I was outside your window.
Nah.
Mainly because I think we're hours away. But hey,
Isn't it like 11 p.m. where you are right now?
it's 9.
Oh,
Yeah, is it like 7 for you? 6?
7-Eleven right now.
7-Eleven?
Who's this Zach
Um,
Vernon guy making jokes saying I prefer rice? What's the heck, man? Is that a racial thing or what?
wait, where's the rice?
Up
Where's the
there, he said,
rice?
we all know your preferred pasta's rice. Could have
Oh,
been a joke.
I
I
don't
took
think
it
I
very
saw it.
serious. Kyle's cheeks are pink. LOL. He's blushing. Oh,
I know you
if I
got
was
Javier in here, and now gonna make me all giddy.
all right, I'll stop. Go ahead.
Community builder. Is this Zach? Is this the rice one? Um,
Yep.
Community builder informed me today that prices are increasing in a few weeks. Do you think that's true, or just lure to get me in sooner? Also, can prices change midway through build?
What do you think, Kyle?
Man, you take this one, man. It's nice
What?
to
He
I
just
want
brought me
to
to work.
I want to sit here and
um,
just listen to you.
do you think it's true, or is it? It's true, and it's also to get you to lure in. If you assume the worst with builders, they're gonna increase their price, and not only that, but they're gonna be able to still sell at a high level. So, can prices change midway through build? They do, but they just won't affect your price. The values continue to go up, and then you get calls. They go, hey, you got equity, but really they keep increasing the prices. So, but it won't affect you once you're signed.
I've I've seemed to notice with builders too, if you complain enough, um, they tend to throw in a ton of incentives to keep you, or at least to keep you happy. Whether those are good incentives or not good incentives. Whoa.
Set the mood, bro. Sorry, go ahead.
Is that the
Talk
mood?
about all these incentives. You gotta make the light green.
It's either the
All right,
mood or it's hell. It's one of those two. I haven't
there you
made up
go.
a
So it feels like in the real estate YouTube space, you're just doomed to make housing market videos, and I saw your FHA video too. I like it. It's doing good too.
Well, thanks. You know,
Decent.
I want to throw a lot more explosions into the video
You're
thumbnails.
you knew you had to do it too. You're just like, I gotta make an updated FHA video. Come on. You're like, fine, I'll do it.
Oh,
I'm
the
talking
old one
about
was
Endgame
like,
Thanos, just like, I'll do it myself. And you did an FHA
yeah.
video, and boom.
Well, man, the old one was from 2019, I believe. 2018,
Hmm.
2019. And when it crossed over to 2020, I was like, well, nothing changed. Let's just change. Let's edit the video title 2020 because nothing changed. It's the same thing. And I
Hmm.
figured I should probably update the actual video. And then somebody got mad at me for actually doing that. They said, I came here to just see updates, not a whole thing. All right. You can't
Yeah.
win. You can't win.
Someone called me a hypocrite in my last video.
Are they
Heather was
wrong?
like, Javier, I love your video. When's the next live stream? And someone says, Javier's a effing hypocrite. I'm like, oh, okay.
Is it the guy
That's
who talked to
nice.
you on your Instagram rant? Is it that guy?
I don't know. That's so many haters, man. It's crazy. I need to check out Javier's YouTube. Are you in Denver? No, I'm in Phoenix. I wish I was in Denver. Colorado's nice.
Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, definitely check out Javier's YouTube. It's Javier Vidania. I don't. Can I put your name up here?
It's love the house you win.
Ooh, that one. I've always wondered who's been competing against me. When you get a cease and desist, don't be alarmed, my friend. Let me see if I can. I don't know. Is that even a thing? Are you supposed to like trademark names still? Because
I think so. You
definitely,
should, but
definitely don't have that going on. So Javier's channel is linked down here in the chat. So definitely hop on that. Give him a follow. He's a cool guy and a
thank
hypocrite,
you.
but mostly a cool guy.
And hypocrite apparently. Thank you.
Oh man! All right, let's see what comments did I miss here. I'm sure people would love to hear us talk about and ramble about random things. Man, I'm
You're,
getting called out for
you,
my white skin that shows all the blood vessels beneath it.
guys, Kyle is the least whitest guy I've ever met. Like where he stands on issues and everything is like way more advanced than it's. He's
Oh,
yeah.
we're talking about issues. Oh yeah, dude,
Just
I'm.
yeah, you're the least whitest person I've ever met. Who's the biggest nerd? I think I know who the answer to that.
Oh, definitely Javier.
Kyle's just he's a poser, man. He's not even a nerd.
Right?
He's just like he wears glasses, but sheesh, the guy. You talk to this guy
These
about anything
these are blue
pop
light. These aren't
culture,
even
he's just like,
prescription.
what? He didn't even know Endgame. Who doesn't know Avengers Endgame?
Isn't that a
But he
Taylor
was
Swift
like, what?
song?
What?
Isn't it?
Veronica Valenzuela, how did y'all meet? Is there a big YouTube community? I don't know. What's your experience?
I think we followed each other on Instagram first. Do you remember the date? If you don't, then we're through.
No, what happened is we both are part of this Facebook group.
Oh, that's right.
The forbidden Facebook group we talk about, and Kyle posted something. He gave great advice, and everybody just blew him off. And then I remember I left a comment on there, or something about no, someone had commented about you, and then I was like, I'm gonna post something nice, and I replied, commented something very nice, and no one replied or liked except him. So then after that point, then we followed each other on Instagram, and I don't know, little by
We've been in
little,
love ever since.
yeah, something like
Oh,
that.
too
Something like a
soon?
week.
Oh, was it too soon for the L word? Yikes.
Yeah, you're pushing it, bud. Hey guys,
Yikes.
this is a good question for you. Hey guys, are all USDA zero down payment? He's the USDA king. Come on, man.
Yes, all USDA loans are 0% down payment. Yeah, fantastic options to go USDA. Do you guys do a lot of USDA in Phoenix?
We used to back in the day, but now you have to go far out for using them.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to. Good guys sticking together. Yeah, that's the thing is that in the YouTube real estate space, you meet people that are similar, and they all kind of start off the same because you have to be a little like the same kind of crazy to be on YouTube. But then eventually, it's just like you end up finding something. You're like, oh man, you're this kind of person. So Kyle, I've known him for about a month or two, and he is. I always like I tell people he's just as good in person as he is on the videos. So
Well, I
very,
appreciate
very,
it.
very solid guy.
Can you? I would love for you to talk about, if you're comfortable with it, your stance on like some of the YouTube real estate stuff
Trying to
with
get my
like
trouble in the
the
day.
lead thing, huh?
You know, there's a lot of realtors that were messaging me after that last video.
The apology one.
The apology one, yeah. They're like,
Good things or
"Yo,
bad
bro,
things?
were you talking about me, bro?"
Oh, you say yes. Of course, I was talking
Yeah,
about
no,
you.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm comfortable. I think for the longest time, the real estate YouTube space. I mean, if any of you guys were watching educational videos on YouTube for maybe 3 years ago, there was like maybe a handful of people. And then there was a few of us, and I put Kyle in that category because he didn't rise with anyone's help. He did it on his own. That figured out that authenticity is what wins people over. Being authentic to who you are and generally helping people. And then what I noticed is someone like a Kyle or like a me, we don't turn down the business, but we're not doing this to get more business, right? We're doing it because we love making videos. And there started becoming more people, lenders and realtors that started, I don't want to say copying it, but started making similar concept videos. and they appear to be that similar of like, hey, we're doing it to help you, but behind closed doors in aka Facebook groups, they love to brag about how many leads they're getting and how many this, that, or the other. And to me, that like I've never seen Kyle even we've known each other for a month or two now, and we've never like compared numbers or I mean we help each other with the viewerships and the comments and YouTube, but hey deal, how many deals you do last month, bro? How much you do last year, bro? That's the kind of stuff that you start realizing that well, all these realtors and lenders are pretending like they're trying to be authentic, but behind closed doors, all they really are is they're just looking at it more numbers, and I tend to be a little
Yeah.
more sensitive to that. So that's where my problem comes is these people that are supposedly trying to help, but really they're just trying to find the right viewership, the right title, so that way they can get more leads.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioned that like, oh, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Maybe a little bit longer than that. And I always had that feeling, like it just felt gross because like, there are Facebook groups where there are Facebook groups just about how to get leads from Facebook or from YouTube
For
through making
YouTube.
YouTube videos,
Mhm.
and it kind of gets gross after a while where people are just trying to talk about like all of that, and I've even started to get to the point where I hate the word like lead, like feels gross, like
I always have to
commoditizing.
catch myself because it's like, ugh,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I do the same thing too because it's just like the language. And so, like, for those of you who are unfamiliar, a lead is like in sales when you have some sort of contact information for somebody who has the intent to buy. And so, like, you're basically taking people and turning them into a commodity that's effectively being like sold and traded. That's how Zillow exists. Like, the reason Zillow is free is because they're commoditizing your information and then selling it to people.
yep,
Which you can take your own ethical stance on, but uh, I've started to get to the point where I'm just like, this feels so gross.
mm-hmm,
Like these are people,
mm-hmm,
these are people's lives, and we're just kind of like, how many leads did you get, kind of deal, or like I'm trying to generate leads, and especially when you see the marketing gets a little bit worse than that, where people are trying to use like there's a popular book called Primal Branding, which is about how
yeah,
you basically manipulate emotionality to try to get to people to purchase or to click on things. Like, oh,
yep.
this feels kind of nasty,
Um,
but
do you find that because I mean I put you, I don't think there's any other lender that's at the top. So you're probably the number one lender, I would imagine. There might be other lenders that have been doing it longer that might have more viewers or comments or subscribers, but I can't, I don't really consider them. I think they've yet as of right now they started making more content about like I become realtors and lenders and whatnot. Do you find like it's very lonely to have this mindset? Like, like for me, I don't have any other realtor friends, and when I thought I found this little community of realtors, it turns out I didn't like them either. Like, do you feel like having this mindset of like not thinking this way, like it feels very lonely. Like I have my
mm,
group, my fans, my subscribers, my Discord, and everyone else. It seemed like the other realtors don't really bother me. I'm kind of alone. Is it the same for you,
yeah, huh? Um,
or are you like the number
I
one lender guy?
no, I think so.
Edgar
Um,
Murillo says Kyle is so good looking with the.
oh
Go,
no,
there
don't
you
start with
go.
that.
Dipping
Um,
hours, bigger.
I I think I think so. I think more just from not necessarily like the lending space or the real estate space, but primarily just from having like that mindset in sales. I mean, especially because like anything that you learn, I'm sure you had the same thing as a realtor. Any like training material was all this really like strangely aggressive sales stuff.
Yeah,
And it was all
scripts.
just like numbers and yeah, scripts and um, like even when I was originating loans, I tried to take a more holistic approach and say like these people are looking for something more than me trying to convert them into a sale. Um, and so I think it is kind of lonely, but I think it also has pushed me more into. I think it's done the same thing for you. Like people can tell that you genuinely want to help people, and you're not trying to. Like I don't think I've ever seen in one of your videos you mentioned somebody to like reach out to you for something. Maybe like a soft hey I work in Phoenix kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I haven't the last 6 months of video. I haven't done it, but when I started off, yeah, it was. Someone says, "Well, how do you get a text line?" I have a main line that goes to me, but I'm not a baller like Kyle. I have a Discord and social media and everything. You can reach out to me. So if you wanted to find me, you could find me. But I am not.
Yeah,
I unfortunately will have to say something I need to work on is my responsiveness. I have so many people messaging me sometimes that you categorize everybody. Like if you get a few crazy messages, then you think, well, then all the messages must be crazy. But then you snap, you're like, wait, no. Then
sure.
oh crap, there's actually five really decent people like can help for needing help, right? So that's why I
Yeah.
struggle with sometimes.
Do you get crazy people? I haven't had that many. I have a
Hmm?
long-term stalker that I've had for like 4 years, but other than that, that's
Well, yeah, if you just answer my phone calls, and it wouldn't be a stalker anymore. Um,
I
yeah,
wasn't
no,
gonna
I
mention names, but
I used to have a my cell phone was used to be out everywhere. So I would literally just get calls and text messages. And the thing that would be the odd thing for me was when somebody would just call you and they would be in escrow and just like being this really serious problem. And I'm like, I can't, as a real estate agent, I can't comment on current escrows because it's an ethical violation, right? And on top of that, the strange calls like at maybe 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. when I'm about to put the kids to sleep, it's 10 p.m. and people are calling me. People not being aware of the time difference and stuff like that. So now the numbers I have out there in my team lines and it gets picked up by someone, and then or if it's like, hey, this is someone serious, and then I'll help them. Then I'll reach them out to them. But yeah, no,
yeah,
you'll eventually get there where it's. I know you do your text line now, but you'll get to a certain point where there'll be two or three bad experiences. Where like, man, maybe I shouldn't. Like I had people comment on my daughter and how attractive she is,
mm,
and she's a 3-year-old girl. So that's the things that you start learning. Oh well, maybe having your info out is 99% of people are decent, but there's that 1% that kind
yeah.
of scars you. But
My mom hates that so much of my info is online, so it's fine. We'll be fine.
no, but yeah, well
Um,
that it's you and is your fiance or wife or girlfriend?
Me?
What?
I know I'm single.
No. Yeah.
Are you doing this on
What are all those
purpose?
girls in your house? So
Which ones are you talking about?
I will say when you have kids, it kind of changes your perspective a bit, or like you realize there are people out there that want to hurt them, and you don't even want to you don't have a second chance with that crap, right? Like you only get
Right.
one chance, you know. So that's what maybe I have a little different perspective.
Yeah.
Mom is right. MC
Um,
Leapy Lee wants to work with you, man.
yeah, I see. I'm not going to throw your email up here because I don't want everyone
He's
to email
single,
you.
ladies. Dude, I
Oh,
thought I
stop.
thought
Don't do
you're
that.
not single.
I'll get back to
Why are
that
you
in a
saying you're
second.
single? Oh, okay. You don't want
Uh,
to let your information out, but
my
you want to get your
my
phone
email
number, but not that info.
my email is kyleseagraves@hey.com,
Not
hey.com.
answering the question, ladies and
Send me an
gentlemen.
email and I'll get you connected.
Not answering the question.
I am single, man. Uh, I don't
Okay.
know. The dating scene's rough. Dating scene's real rough. Um, a lot of girls my age. You're 27, aren't you?
Yeah. You want to give my social security out too, Kyle? While you're at
Yep. 65323 six
you're
nine
25.
four
Okay,
six.
so 20. You're 20. I thought you were 24, 25, right?
I'm 24.
Right.
Um,
Young one,
and
young
I'm
punk.
always pink. We don't have to we don't have to comment on my skin.
1-800 Kyle Caliente. Yep.
Yeah, the dating world's wild. Oh yeah, Zach wants to know the rest of your social. I found that most people my age are like the worst. And I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm attracting the wrong people. It
I was
also
married
could
at
be
19, so never got to experience that.
where. How did you meet your wife?
High school.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Married we got together when we were 17, married at 19. Been together since 10 years. No, more
Dang.
longer now. Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
How big was your high school?
Pretty big. I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. You're probably gonna tell people where I went to high school now since you're doxing all my info. So
Oh, of
high
course.
school started.
My class had 40 people in
2,800.
it.
2,800.
Wow. I had 40 people in my class.
Of course. Did you guys just ride like was there like 3 tractors that went into town that you guys just all hitched on to go to school?
Close. It was actually two tractors and then one of those a combine. Is that
I
what's it
don't
called?
don't know what that is.
I don't know, man. Let's see. So, do you know anything about NACA?
Oh man,
I get that
that's a big
question,
meme in my channel because
I think, once a day, and I don't know how to answer it because
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
anything
No.
about it.
So just to be clear, out of my subscribers, there's like a special group of, I want to say maybe a few hundred that are like my like diehards, and we have these inner jokes within each other, and we talk on Discord all the time. And one of the things we always get is every time we do a live stream, there's NACA loans. NACA, hey, how's NACA? Is NACA a good loan? What's going on? Uh, well, I'll give my usual spiel on NACA. It's a great company with the great intentions, but I'm not a fan of how terrible they make people feel about their life decisions. You literally have to
Oh,
have a
really?
perfect record to even be considered, and a lot of people end up leaving discouraged when my opinion is any situation can be turned around. And when somebody's telling you how terrible you are, not even if you make bad decisions, like I've had people that got turned down just because they use their credit cards and pay them off every month. It's just they don't they want they have their idea of how you should be, and if you don't fit that mold, then they're going to make you feel shitty about it. So but if you are fortunate enough to be allowed in their cult, then good for you. You know, you'll get a
Can
great
you
product.
can you explain? Like, my general understanding is you have to follow this program, and then they give you a loan at the end of it, or how does it actually work?
um Yeah, no, no. So they actually set you up with a counselor first. No, first you have to do a class, and if you're interested, then you have like a counselor appointment. They'll review everything, and then if you're that's very rare when you're ready to go. But what happens then is they actually give you like, well, this is what you need to work on, and that can take like the next appointment could be 3 months from now, it could be 6 months from now, or they can just simply say, no, we're not a fan of the way you do this, or you did this too much, or something along those lines. So if after multiple months they do finally accept you, then they'll give you a NACA agent. And it's basically a portfolio loan, conventional product. So for the seller, they'll never know exactly what kind of product it is, but essentially it's no PMI, really low interest, no origination fee, super, just insanity. And they cover your closing costs and all
And
this
who
stuff. But
who's
it's just that
funding
process of just being judged.
who's like funding this program to go on?
NACA, I think it's a nonprofit organization, so they must have
Okay,
like,
donors
yeah,
or
no, you never heard of it. It's really crazy.
sponsorships. I've heard of it, but anytime I want to look it up because I swear I get that question every day. Anything about NACA, however you say it? I say nope, not a clue. Uh,
It's like exclusive. It's like a secret. Like that's why people were asking.
it really does feel like a cult. Um, Lene
It's a
says sounds
cult
similar
too
to
because
Scientology.
once you join and you buy a house, you have to do community service once a month, I believe.
Don't they do
And the
that in
only way you
general
can get
too?
into NACA is if someone recommends you into NACA. Like, or very few times they'll allow the public to get in there.
Huh,
Yeah.
that's weird. Yeah, there's some people saying in here like it was stressful or they had friends go through a lot. Yeah, so it
You
sounds
have
like
any
probably
mods
not
on your
good.
channel?
No, how do I do that?
You want to have it depends. I don't know. The first time I'm here, so but whoever keeps coming frequently, they show interest in you. You make them a mod. That way they can just watch over the comments in case you missing something.
Well, I'm learning stuff here, and I just add them
And
in on the
verification is
on.
pretty. No, but don't do it now. Do it. Like, more people keep showing up. Give them the chance to fight.
The drama's half the fun.
Fight,
As long as
fight to
nobody
be a
gets hurt, the
streamer.
drama gets a little bit. That's what I was thinking. I think you and I need to do some. We need to make some YouTube beef, and just really
You
play it
tried.
out.
You tried when you called me out, and then I texted you. You're like, "No, man, that wasn't about you." No, you're like, "This is Kyle." No, Javier, that wasn't about you.
That's close. It's more like no,
Okay,
Javier. That's not about you.
I was talking about the other one. We're the other people. No, but
uh,
your video made me realize, like, holy shit, like I'm part of the problem. Even if it wasn't about me, I'm part of the problem.
no, I don't think so. Um, I feel like it's the bigger problem that I was seeing. Like, more of what I was addressing was like, I mean, I've sent you some of those screenshots of like thumbnails, and it's always just the like markets getting destroyed in 2021, and it's like, why are we doing this? And I mean, people are getting lots of views on it. Like there were tons of channels that were getting, I mean, thousands and thousands of
Yeah,
views.
I
Yeah.
was. It was. You're being very nice. I was making those faces. I was behind explosions too.
Not to that level.
He doesn't want to give in, guys.
And you were coming at it with, if somebody did click on your video, they were watching, like getting a lot better information than what a lot of these other ones were. Because there's still a lot of people
Yeah.
like peddling the housing crash thing,
Yep.
like
We're still
actually
doing it.
coming in. Yeah, yours was a little bit more of like, here's the topic that people are talking about, and then actually giving real information based on your expertise and knowledge. Where a lot of people are just saying, no, there's going to be a housing crash, but you should still buy with me.
They're still going to be doing those videos too. I was kind of hoping that. Well, the people that did watch the latest the video where I apologize, I hope it can take some momentum out of them because it needs to stop being. They need to stop getting so many clicks, man. It's just like not helping anything.
It seems like it's slowed down a little bit.
Hopefully, Brittany Tolan, are you the same Brittany that there goes my life, or is it another Brittany? Also, Tyler Dean looks familiar.
I imagine there's
Hmm,
quite a few people in here who have.
probably,
I've already
yeah.
seen comments. Lots of people who are, I think, pretty glad that you're here. Javier's a pretty special guy.
It is Brazil. Hey, Brittany, I thought it was you. They're just making more people nervous about the market. Yep, that's what they are. Kyle was the brave hero that stopped it all.
I know I have my cape sitting up over there.
My
I haven't
Discord, as
had.
soon as you made that video, my Discord let everyone know. Look at what Kyle's video, and like, oh my god, he's so right. Oh my god, he's so cute. I'm like, oh my god,
Oh man, people in your
this
Discord
isn't
talked
the
about
collab,
it.
guys. There's gonna be another collab coming
There's
whenever
gonna be a
he's ready to.
real look. When Javier decides to text me back, then we'll make a collab. But
Really?
when I get left on red, when I get
The
left on
last text.
red, then I start. My feelings get hurt a little bit.
Oh, you did say in the last text 7 year supply year 7+ year supply of kitty litter. That was your last text. You're right.
Quality, wasn't it? I'll start putting some more
I've been
effort
doomsday
into.
prepping for years. 7+ year supply of kitty litter.
I'll put more effort
Yep.
into it
Try to guess what that's
if that's
about.
what you're looking for.
How's a new cat, by the way?
New Kitty's good. She does weird cat stuff late in the night when I'd rather her like stop and be sleeping. Um, what else? What else?
My
I can
cat
tell
likes to
you.
jump on my chest and purr randomly at night.
You have a cat? I thought you only had two. I didn't. I guess I didn't know it. I knew you had two dogs.
I had two cats. The one was the love of my life, but he passed. The other one is kind of like the
Oh,
leftover. That I'm like, ugh. She just sleeps all day.
oh.
Doesn't. Her name's Katniss. I'm sorry. I forgot you don't know pop culture. Katniss
Stop!
Everdeen
I
is from
know
Hunger
it.
Games. It
I
was
just.
originally a trilogy of books, but then they converted it into actually 4 movies.
I just wasn't gonna laugh at it because I don't know. It was too on the nose. Too on the nose, man. Um, I will tell you a funny. Do you want to hear a funny moment of me getting mad at the cat? You hear
But
this? It's 3 a.m. Okay, and most people sleeping, right? So I'm cuddled up in bed by myself because you make me feel lonely about being alone. And all of a sudden, I hear she's like, you know when they do those aggressive deep claws on a couch? They
mm-hmm.
like really get in there. So she's getting in there. And so I came out like, what in the world is going on? And so I picked her up and very kindly, it wasn't mean. It was like, I put her up to the scratching post with her paws. It's like, in this house, we do this. We do this on the scratching post. And ever since, she's, that's where she's been scratching. But I was a
So you
little
wake up,
upset.
hair messed up, you in your Mean Girls pajamas,
How did you
waking, and then
know?
you put your pink fluffy bunny slippers on. You walk to the
I think
pick
that
her
night I
up.
was wearing the sweats that have that says juicy across the back. Uh, I don't always wear those. It depends on who's going to be seeing.
Hey, here's a question for you from Jose Valdez. Kyle, And chances this year is going to be a buyer's market.
Ooh, unfortunately, I don't anticipate it. Not to peddle the gloom and doom, but correction most likely is going to happen. Real question is when, and nobody knows. So, from just like housing data of how little inventory there is, how slow builders are at catching up, and birth rates from 33-ish years ago, where now like millennials are coming into prime home buying years. Probably not going to happen this year, is what I would anticipate. Rates are probably still going to be nice and low because the Fed is keeping like ridiculously purchasing mortgage-backed securities. I think last month they purchased around $100 billion of mortgages, um, which is good because as the price increases, the rate's lower. Um, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be converting into a buyer's market, at least not on a national level. Maybe in some hyper local areas. Would you agree?
Follow up question from me. We you can agree the last 10 years were not normal. What are the chances of it just staying expensive to own a home?
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
So it's been very easy to purchase a home the last 10 years. Would you agree with that?
Relatively, sure.
So what are the chances of it just staying more expensive to purchase a home?
Ah, I see. Um, I have some people asking what your channel is. I just linked Javier's channel in the chat. Um, I think over a long term view, I made a video about this I think a month or two ago. Long term horizon, housing affordability is getting housing is getting less and less affordable over like a 50-year period. Um, I think we're seeing that in the past 10 years ish. But what's really interesting about rates, especially when they went from last year being in their like 4.5% range now to like 2 to 3.5%, is that homes within the past 2 years have actually become more affordable. Like homes this year are actually more affordable than they were last year. Even though the
They're a lot more
prices,
expensive.
yeah, even though the prices have increased a ton, reducing that interest rate by almost 1.5 to 2% has made the monthly payment more affordable. Um, the difficulty, though, is what hasn't changed is like the home price increases and now the down payment increases. And I think that's where a lot of people are kind of getting stuck. Is your requirement for how much you can put down on a house increases, but your income isn't necessarily increasing at the same rate. And I think that's the one of the bigger problems that I'm seeing is people having the cash to be able to purchase a house.
Hmm. It's just like there's certain cities. You know how California has been expensive to own a home there, hasn't grown to be more expensive.
Right.
I just believe there'll be certain cities around the country that they kind of been propped up and they've gotten more expensive. And like for example, Phoenix, there's so much growth happening here, so many people moving here, so much new companies moving here. Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth. That when things do kind of settle, I don't see them. I just see them being more expensive places to live. You know what I'm saying? Like a Denver,
Yeah.
Colorado, it's probably 400K to buy a house there. And I'm just wondering what that's going to do for our lower to middle income classes. Are they going to have to spread out to other cities now, and then make other cities more expensive, or what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's nice to see Kyle's
I
personality. Do you never show your personality, Kyle?
I
You're
probably
supposed to show
not.
your personality on videos,
I
dude.
know. This is me. Um, what was it? This past year, the data came out for median home prices to increase. How much did that change? Was it like 10%? I forget exactly how much median house home prices changed. What's interesting about that statistic is a lot of people think that that's appreciation, and it's not. The median home price changing is not the actual measure of appreciation. The median home price tells us the spread of where homes are at in terms of like what's more affordable. So, like you mentioned, home purchasing is now tending more towards those higher priced purchases where you have a lot more people having to spend more money on a house, even though the appreciation didn't keep up in the same way. So I imagine, like, yeah, you're always going to see these bigger cities like San Francisco and Denver and Nashville. They're probably always going to stay being expensive. What people really need to do is come to nice Dayton, Ohio, and grab a nice USDA loan.
Yeah.
Housing is cheap here. Um, I mean, you can get a livable house for a family for $100,000.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
versus like Phoenix, I mean, that gets closer to the what, 300,000 ish range?
How much
300, maybe closer to 250.
for what monthly payment?
What would be like a three
But
bed
what would be
house?
a $300,000 house would be maybe 1,600 right now, 1,600, 1,800.
Okay. And so
Um,
with your taxes, is that around like
the taxes are still
250
cheap, man. That's the thing. Like maybe 1,000 or 2K. Tyler Dean, what's up,
a
man?
year?
I actually talked to him. I see you. What's up?
A year?
Yeah.
1 to 2,000 a year?
Hmm.
Dude, they're a lot higher here. Like hundred
Yeah.
thousand
East
dollar
Coast has
house.
a crap load of taxes. We don't.
Yeah, $100,000 house. You're probably going to be looking at $2,000 to $3,000 worth of taxes.
Ew.
Yeah, man.
Why? Well, maybe because there's less population, so there's less houses, so they have to tax you more. Here, there's a huge amount of population, more houses per square feet, so they can get away with it. Maybe literally in Arizona, dude, they're like, hey, what is this? 2 acres? Let's build 500 houses on this SOB. Let's get the houses like this, make them all the freaking same, make them all brown, make it all landscaped, desert landscaping,
Nice.
and you got yourself a Phoenix house market. You know,
It's not much different. Well, yeah, it actually is pretty different here. There is a lot of neighborhoods where everything looks like the exact same house, but we don't get cool desert landscaping. We just get grass and some generic trees. Like trees that people don't even know the names of. They're not cool enough to get the names.
same. Well, you got some good vibes going in the comment section, man.
Um, I know we probably missed a ton of
I was
questions.
gonna start
I
answering
feel
your questions. Can I
feel
just
kind of
watch
bad.
you work the live show?
You can watch me. I'll put on my cape and maybe I'll pull out the spandex. I don't know. I've had too much biscuits and gravy this morning, man. Can't do that.
Let me guess. I already know the answer to this too because I saw a story. Homemade
Oh
biscuits
yeah.
and gravy.
Oh yeah. Biscuits from scratch. Come on. You just got to teach me some Mexican dishes, and
We call
we
you
can do
out.
it.
Come and call you out there. Just because I'm Mexican doesn't mean I can cook Mexican dishes. I'm terrible at cooking.
Come on.
How dare
You
you?
can probably cook something. You can cook something.
I just did carne asada, just that because I'm a Hispanic male, and to be a man, you have to learn how to cook meat on a grill. But that's it. Yeah, my
I
mama taught you well.
I don't know how to do I don't know how to cook on the grill. So you got me there. Clarice, you said watch you both. Such good information from the both of your channels. Both keep it real. Don't mind people that give right nor good. You don't find people that give right nor good information that people can use. Cool. Well, I appreciate you watching both. I'm
Thank you,
sure Javier
Clarice.
does too.
Appreciate it. Kyle, what's your opinion on the landscape? What made you so special that you exploded?
I don't think there's anything necessarily special. Um,
Okay, what made you
what's
explode?
who knows? I think one FHA loan requirement video. That
But
seems to
compared
be
to
where
other
things
lenders,
took
though,
off.
like talk crap about realtors all the time, but boo, these lenders on YouTube are terrible. Man, they
Lenders
guys they're so bad.
lenders can be kind of rough.
They're so bad, dude. What's up with that?
There, I think it might just be the personality of a lender is way less like what's the word? Gregarious? Way less energetic and everything. Yeah, and Zach mentioned too, the USDA video did well. I think probably what's helped is my teaching style might be a little bit different than especially lenders. And there just isn't a ton of good like lending information that's like digestible without being like a lot of people still use like the jargon of the mortgage world. And I try to like take that away as much as possible, even though it's kind of hard. Um, other than that, I don't know, just the grace of YouTube, I guess. Um, it just seems like what I found is like when I first started making videos, like I would tell like friends around here, like they'd ask what videos I was making, and be like, "Well, I'm making a video on USDA loan requirements," and people would. I don't know if you got the same thing where people are like, "Who in the world is going to watch these videos? Like, who cares?" Um, and it's interesting to see like people really want information. Like they want to take ownership of what they're doing in the process. especially with how easy it is to feel like you're being taken advantage of in the lending world when you're getting a mortgage. And so I
Yeah.
think that that combination has been really helpful for people. It's just like having information that's more accessible that makes them feel more in control.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. If I had to take a guess, that's kind of what is. And Angelica's saying ASMR is what got her here. So whatever works. Um, I didn't intend to make this an ASMR channel, but I think there's a good amount of people who just listen so that they can fall asleep at night.
Brittany
Um,
Tullen, I would have to argue, and watch. We haven't even talked about this, but guarantee you, he doesn't even know who that is.
okay.
And
All right.
if
Hold
he
up.
does, he's heard of it once.
Hold up. I know who Doctor Who is. I don't. I'm not actually a 50-year-old man. I'm closer to like
Name one
35.
of the Doctor Who's. Then
Name what?
name one of the actors that played the Doctor Who.
The the guy that everyone thinks is hot, but he's kind of ugly.
Javier Vidania.
No, isn't the Benedict Cumberbatch guy? Doesn't he?
I
He's
told you
totally.
guys. He played
He's
Sherlock
totally.
Holmes.
No. Nuh-uh.
There's Matt Smith, David Tennant.
He's literally in this. This is on TARDIS.fandom.com.
Benedict Cumberbatch then played Doctor Who.
Oh wait, he played Howard Carter.
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh god. I don't
Tell
know,
you,
man.
he just looks like a nerd. He's not a nerd.
I'm a nerd when it comes to things not gaming or entertainment.
Or
Uh,
traditional nerd things. You're a
or traditional
musician,
nerd things.
so like
Uh,
you can tell me the key of C. What's the fourth and fifth, right?
I could get there, sure. We got some. We got a C. We got an E, G. All right, that's in there. We
What
got
are
an
the
E
two minors
minor,
in the key of C?
um, A minor, and F minor. No,
That actually isn't it a minor seven though? It's an E. No, it's a key. It's C then E minor. Is it minor? That what's in there? So it's
right.
C then D minor or D minor seven.
I think you're right. I think it is D minor.
Then it's E minor. Then it's F major, G major, A minor, B seven, C major.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
This-
Uh, a question from Brittany Tollin. What is your favorite houseplant, Kyle?
Hmm. Um, I'm looking around. I like this guy.
Hey,
This
that's what I
is.
have.
You have one of these?
Dude,
A little
oh my
pilea?
god. How is this possible?
Dude, I
So
love
mine's a
it.
little sad right now.
Yours is way more patriotic than mine is. So,
Mine's American.
the you can propagate these.
Yeah, that's what Mercy did. She that's a baby, I think. Like
That's
you
incredible.
get a piece of it and then it grows again, right?
Yeah, I took one off of mine. I have a lot of plants in here. Because
You have
people
one of those that
normally.
looks like a thick girl.
I'm
What is it called?
sorry. One that looks like a thick girl.
My wife got it, and it would be always every time we walk by it, we'd be like, "Dude, she's looking thick." It's what is it called?
Is it a money
Mercy.
plant?
Hold on, you explain the story. I'll find out.
Oh, she. Oh, wait. What happened?
Wrong one.
There
I
we
clicked
go.
the. I meant to hit mute, not hang up. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Tell me about. Do you have this thick girl plant here with you? Maybe we'll get her some. We'll get her some sweatpants that say "juicy" on the back of it.
Come on, guys, help me out. What's the name of that thick? The one that's like it looks like a person
I would.
walking. Gosh,
I'd
I don't
Google
know.
thick girl plant, but I'm afraid of what
Thick
I'd
girl
find.
plant. I'm gonna look it up. Don't
I got
thick girl
a
house plant.
thick girl house plant. I got one of these. Is this
Yeah,
a
they're
crouton?
ficus. It's a ficus.
A ficus. Oh, I have one of those. Kind of like a little bonsai. It looks like a little bonsai plant,
Look up ficus. Look up thick
but
girl
it's not.
ficus right now. Look what pops up. And tell me that doesn't look like Kyle Seagraves walking around in his
Do
juicy.
I do I need to put on private browsing?
Yeah, you probably do.
Dude, I have one of these. You have one?
I had it, but I
Although
think it's dead.
although mine's not as juicy. It's got some work to do. That's why I never would have liked. I wouldn't have said anything about it because
Yeah, that's why you were like, "Excuse me," when I brought it up.
yeah. Now that I'm finding out this is how it's supposed to be, I've been missing out on all the thickness because I bought this
Wait, maybe
plant from IKEA.
maybe you don't. Yeah, that's from IKEA. But maybe you don't want one. You're gonna get tempted.
Maybe,
Um,
maybe.
juicy thing. Why are we talking about juicy house plants? Zach Vernon asked Kyle, "Are you still a loan officer or a full time YouTuber?"
I am not do. I stopped doing loans in November, so almost 2 months ago. So right now I don't want to say full time YouTuber because that sounds like I'm a tool. Um, so I'm just doing YouTube stuff plus working on an app, a good old app to kind of help through the home buying process. So that's the main thing I'm working on here. And then we also have a team that's licensed in Ohio, Florida, and Tennessee. So um, all of our loan officers actually work out over in these offices over here.
Question for you, and I'll answer after. That way, that you don't and just put you on the spot. Um, I mean, you're not a loan officer anymore. You're going full time YouTube. How are you getting by? Are you still is the other loan stuff still providing, or did you just save a lot of money and now you're just living off that until the app starts paying off?
Kind of combination of a few things. I did save money, which is always a good
Mm.
habit to have. Um, I YouTube does pay money, and then there also is a sponsor for the channel. So that combination
Mm.
is good enough to live
Does your
off of.
broker do it?
I'm sorry.
Your lender pays you? Or like your broker?
No,
No, wait.
not
Brokers for realtors. You guys
this.
have what do you guys call them? You know what I'm saying? No,
No, we have
no.
brokers.
So real estate agents work for brokers, and they're brokers like My Home Group or excuse me,
Oh,
Remax. But you are a mortgage broker that works for a loan company, right?
yeah, for a brokerage,
So does
and
your brokerage pay
there
you,
also
or
is a broker.
is there another ad?
Um, yeah, so this company, it's the sponsor of the channel is Credible, and so they pay for the states
Oh,
that we're not licensed in.
oh,
Um,
I see. I
yeah,
see.
because we're only licensed in 3 states, which
Yeah, that's the
is a
thing
bit of a
is
bummer.
like I'm trying to go full time as well. Because this might come as a surprise to you guys, but I'm not a fan of being a realtor sometimes. I love the process. I love the payoff, but I feel like to be a good realtor, you need to be available at all times. You need to be able to drop what you're doing to go show a house.
Right.
And I can't, and I'm not able to do that no more. So what I want to, start experimenting is just referring every piece of business out, keeping maybe one or two, but I'm also limited. Like, man, still have to provide an income for my family. I still have to keep going. So I'm a little nervous of taking that step. That makes sense.
Yeah. You know what's bad is about real estate that I've noticed is like you're right on with you always have to be available. And I think the reason why is because getting into real estate is one of the only like businesses that you can set up um, or that's like that easy. Like it's so easy to become a realtor or to become a loan officer. Super like dangerously easy. Like there's a lot a lot of
90
realtors
hours, few
who
thousand bucks, boom.
who should not be helping people buy and sell houses. But the problem with that is since it's so easy to get in, you have people who like just are natural overworkers, and they of course do really well. And so to keep up even like the bare minimum, you have to overwork because you have everyone else who's pulling up the requirement for everybody else. So like for instance, as like a loan officer, I can't just say I work 9 to 5 because if I do that, then I won't get any loans because the realtors who want to work, like they're the ones who overwork because they do business. The ones who want to call me at 9 and then I don't answer the phone, like 9 at night, and then I don't answer the phone, then they don't send me any business at all. And so it's not like you can scale back as a realtor or loan officer. It's just
Yeah.
gone, which kind of sucks.
That's the thing is like I can be the most valuable realtor with the most amount of knowledge that'll get the deal done. But if I'm not available to show a house that day, then my value means nothing. I literally had someone fire me the other day because They didn't fire me. I found out they went with the Redfin agent and make an offer because I wasn't available till next to the show them houses, and also the house they want to see. There was two of them. I said, let's just put them together tomorrow. Best use of our time. Well, because I wasn't available that same evening, they're like, well, we're calling Redfin. Um, Question from
Redfin.
Jose, who's calling you out and saying that you're not going to answer this question because apparently we're just chatting about house
Oh
thick
no.
plants. Kyle Javier, when can I ask for another loan to buy another multi-fam house? I have 3 apartments and would like to have 3 more this year. My first loan, and only had it for 2 months with income coming in. FYI.
Okay, let me throw this up here. Your issue that you're going to be running into here is you're going to need a commercial loan. You're getting out of the realm of being a primary residence. So normally people kind of do the house hacking thing. They live in one unit, rent out the others. That works, but when we start trying to acquire multiple is when the lender starts looking at us and saying, you're actually using this loan in the way it's not supposed to be being used. So you would specifically need a commercial lender that would work well for residential properties. A good lender for this would be Finance of America. So you could close in an LLC. So each new property, you could call it 123 Main Street LLC. Are you hiding from us seeing you eat Doritos? Um, uh, so you could close each new property in a new LLC. And that's going to help you get through that process. So you can just qualify without doing like tax returns or any income documentation. You'll just go off of uh, the DSCR of the property, which is the debt service coverage ratio. So literally, they won't take a look at your income. They'll just look at what's the income from the property versus how much is the mortgage payment, and then qualify on that. So that's most likely what you'll need. You're kind of getting out of the primary residence mortgage world.
There, good
And
question.
commercials a different beast. They have their own rules for everything. Um, it's commercials a weird world. We
Yeah,
looked
be
at
a
getting
real
into
estate Chad being a
yeah, we looked at
commercial.
getting some commercials, like doing some commercial licensing. Um, it just didn't really seem too too worth it. At least not
Zach,
in our market.
Zach Vernon's question's solid. We're going to put it up there, and because I'm curious about this too, because what I tell people is just go to you get an insurance person you trust and call them and say, hey, this is a house I want to buy, because your quotes depending on your personal situation and the house, right? So that's the
Right.
only true way of finding out. Other than that, it's going to be a really educated guess. You guys, as in mortgage brokers or bankers, are notorious for always overestimating these on pre-quals because you simply do not freaking know. There's no way of predicting.
Yeah, and it can get us in trouble. I mean, not like legal trouble, but if I tell someone on a prequel that their insurance is going to be $100 a month, and then it comes in at 150, I get yelled at, even when I'm like, I didn't. There's no way for me to be able. When I tell them like, this is insurance, I don't do insurance. We're quoting it. Man, are those you holding those Doritos down, man? Are those the hot ones?
Just answer the
um,
question. I'm just trying to figure out
I know I'm so interested in your Doritos. Um, The other thing that is really killer with insurance is it's going to depend on your area, right? So like insurance in Ohio, it's going to be pretty low. Um, and like I start to get familiar with home prices and an insurance bracket that I see when I close a deal. But when you go to somewhere like Florida, okay, well that insurance is going to be a lot higher than it is here. Like in Florida, $300,000 house, let's say closer to $400,000 house, I've seen homeowners insurance be $7,000 a year, where at the same $400,000 house here, insurance is going to be $2,000 a year. So it depends based on location, and insurance is also going to keep in account for your credit score, along with like I can't tell you the amount of times I've been burned on an estimate for homeowners insurance because I didn't know somebody had 3 Rottweilers. Like I can't I don't know that. Um, and I'm not an insurance agent, so I can't sit here and ask insurance questions and try to
Makes
like
sense why you guys overestimate everything then.
right. So if you are looking at getting a quote, there is a company that I do like. They're called Matic. I don't get paid anything. I don't have any relationship with them, but I would always send clients there just to get a quick quote because I would always have clients who like they didn't want to talk with an insurance agent, which I get. There's a lot going on, but sometimes like I need this quote because our DTI might be close on qualifying. Depending on if you have 14 or 17 Rottweilers is kind of important. So it's Matic.com, and they do like an online quote that you should be able to get it like immediately if you already have a house in mind. So I've enjoyed working with them. You don't have to close with them. You can just use it to get a quote if you want to. I'm sure they would hate me saying that, but I don't have a relationship with them. I would
Have
do.
you noticed how many freaking channels have blown up because they make stimulus videos?
Is that a question on here? Or are you
No. See
asking?
that question from Javier Vidania. I just I'm scrolling down like in your suggested now that I'm here, and there's like 5 live videos about like stimulus updates. And then these I just reminds me there's so many channels that are just like from 1 year they went from like 0 to 100,000 because this stimulus update videos are so hot right
Yeah.
now.
Well, I'll tell you, in the where it shows like what other people in your channel have been watching
Yeah.
section in the audience thing on YouTube. One of them is your video, and then the next 3 pages are Meet Kevin's videos about the stimulus.
Yeah.
It's
It's
all
working. Man.
stimulus stuff. Maybe that's what we should do. You want to do stimulus videos?
I thought I will be
And
honest, I
each day
did
we
think
just
about
come
it.
in and we say nothing changed.
I know. It's just you know, after the stimulus is done, what audience you're gonna have, you know? I mean, not talking about me, Kevin, but he'll be good. Sorry.
That's kind of my thought too
Okay.
with housing market videos is like you make everything based on the housing market, and then like after that who cares what other helpful things are you going to talk about? Steven, you said, would a lender consider future rental income from extra rooms if you're planning to house hack a single family home? Um, no, but there's a nuance here. So you're only able to use future rental income technically for an additional actual unit, not an extra room. However, you can use what's called border income, and I've never seen anyone be able to use border income because the restrictions are so tight. Basically, if you were living with somebody else for the past 12 months and they've been paying you rent, you can use them as a renter in a single family property. But the I've never seen anybody be able to do it because you have to document it, show 12 months of receipts, and they had to already be paying you rent over the past 12 months. So it could work if you've like already been living with a roommate and then you go and buy a house and they're still your roommate. But it's just it's too difficult for anybody that I've seen be able to use it. And then Javier's eating. Have you had dinner?
No.
No? Are you gonna make some
I'm
carne
about to have this.
asada?
I'm about to have this thumbed up. Look at
Crazy.
that.
Crazy. I think I could do the same thing. Is this how we're doing it? Wait. Oh,
Dang,
wait,
yours
I'm off
is
the
rough
screen.
though, dude. Yours
My
is
fingers.
rough.
You've been practicing a lot more than I have.
I have that would.
Oh, yours looks a lot
This one,
better. Look at that. Can you throw it back on, or you have to like place it on gently?
I gotta. You gotta go like.
That's
When you do
crazy.
this,
Does
and
that
then you do
hurt?
that.
Does it work
It
on your middle
does,
finger
man.
too?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
You,
there's a
you see, want to try doing a magic trick right now over the live stream? See if it works. All right, here you go. You can do this. Ready? Put both of your hands out.
me.
Okay, but right your hand out. Yep, do this. Right hand out. Okay, scoot back though. That way people can see
Are
it.
you just wanting me to give you a hug? I'll do it. You can just
Gotta get.
ask.
Okay, put both of your hands down. Put your right hand up. Left hand up. Rotate. Put your left over your right and squeeze as hard as you can. But make sure it's like straight, like up, straight like that, like up. Now do exactly as I do. Ready? Ah.
Wait, what? Wait, is it supposed to be working? What do you mean? Go like exactly as I do. What did
Dude,
you do?
weren't you listening?
What did you do?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You want to do it again?
Yeah, I want to do it
Okay,
again.
pay close attention.
Is it
Right
supposed to
hand
be
out.
working, or is the joke that like you can do it and I can't? I don't get
Right
it.
hand out.
Okay,
Left hand out.
put your left foot in.
Rotate.
Both.
Now this is where a lot of people mess up. When you go like this, like you see how like it's nice. Okay, go and then squeeze hard as you can.
This is a joke. This is not real,
No,
right?
Yeah, but like raise it up, like all the way up, even right here, like that. Yep. Now, ugh.
This is so fake. This is not real.
What do
What
you
are you,
mean, dude? I'm
what
doing
are
it
you
live.
talking?
How's that,
What are you talking about? Do it again. Do it by yourself. I want to see.
dude?
You're
Come on.
scared. I'm gonna expose you. You're gonna be banned by the Alliance of Magicians.
Exactly.
You watch Arrested
Look at
Development?
no meandering Megan. That's not true. It's magic.
Do it again. Do it again.
It's magic, dude. It hurts if I keep doing it.
Oh, shut up. It's not real.
Re-
It's not real. I don't mind it.
rearranging everything.
All right, let's see with some questions here. I'm sure there's some people who are enjoying this and some people who are like, can we get to
Yeah, you went down to
questions?
90 people. That's
Oh,
not good.
brutal.
You've been
Brutal.
doing this 2 hours though.
Um, I still want you to do it again at some point.
Don't read meandering Megan's comment. It's not true.
Meandering Megan's comment. When he says raise it up, he rearranges it. Oh, you're using some misredirection?
Yeah, that's what it
What
is.
is,
When I tell
what
you,
is,
I do this and I let go and I say, yeah, but when you go, make sure it's straight, and then I just go back to this and I rotate.
oh,
Get
how
out
did I
there.
not notice that? You sneaky boy. Max, you said, do you recommend using an escrow account? It depends how well you manage your money. Personally, is as long as you pay bills on time, then I would not use an escrow account. To me, you're basically just giving the lender your money, and it kind of just sits and collects there. I'd rather have that money in my bank account for it to sit and collect there, so I can choose what to do with it.
I thought you don't have the option to go escrow if you're putting less than 20%.
So it depends. Actually, it depends what lender you're working with. With most lenders, you're gonna have to. You can only waive escrows 20% down on a conventional loan. There's no option to waive escrows on USDA or FHA. VA you can. It's up to the lender on when they will let you do that. We have a VA lender that will let you waive it at 0% down, which is super cool. We also have a lender that allows you to waive escrows at 5% down, which is incredible. I don't know any other lender that does that. And that lender you can only get through a broker. They're called a United Wholesale Mortgage. So I think it's fantastic because I don't know anybody else who allows you to do that. But yeah, basically when you're doing an escrow account, you're gonna have to pay a couple months of insurance and taxes up front. It's gonna sit in the lender's account and they're gonna pay it for you, which I guess is nice. But as long as you can set aside that money each month, then you're gonna be perfectly fine keeping up with taxes and insurance. Would you agree?
Um, yeah, I'm surprised to find out that you could do it.
Yeah, it can be kind of difficult. Okay, so we got. I plan on purchasing a home soon. I have not got pre-approved, but question is, would I be approved for home? Oh, I
One of
can't
the
really do
greatest
that.
questions.
Can't really do that over a YouTube video, but it's gonna be
Mhm.
best to talk with a lender. I think there's some
No,
more information
wait.
coming
That
up
third part, you just put it down.
with 10% back end DTI. I think is what you're asking. Yeah, 10% back end DTI, perfectly fine. You know, conventional loans are going to go up to 49.99% back end. FHA is going to go up to 56.99. So 10% is like crazy low. I think he might just be bragging because most people are not sitting at a 10% back end DTI.
Yeah, people do
So
that sometimes. They go like, "Hey, man, I got $100,000 in the bank. I make 300,000 a year. Should I buy a house?" I'm like, "Why are you just coming to?" Not saying you're doing this BZ, but I'm seeing other people do my live stream come and do that. Like you're just coming to flex on everybody.
that's the name of the game, man.
You know
I've
what
been drinking.
flexing means, Kyle? Flexing is another way of saying
Yes.
you're showing off.
Look, in the '60s, we
Flexing,
called it something different.
right?
And
We used to call
you
it
wouldn't know,
jive. We're
you
jiving.
wouldn't know. And when I was off in Vietnam, didn't have time to stay up with all of
Ooh,
you
getting
kids and what
dark.
you got going on. So, is
Jay
Vietnam bad?
Z, what's up, man? I didn't recognize that name.
Um, okay, he said it. He's not flexing. Cool. But he's working well at lower DTI. Yeah, that's a super solid DTI. You'll have no issues.
Guys, let's throw millennial and Gen Y words at Kyle to see if he knows them.
I know renegade and the woe. And oh man.
Renegade and the Woe.
Yeah, are those TikTok dances? I stay up. I know. I got stuff. I got stuff going on over here too, Javier.
What does throw shade mean, Kyle?
Throw shade is where like it's hard to give the definition of it.
It's
If you're
not.
like to talk bad about somebody,
Okay,
like
that's good.
us talking
And
about realtors in the Facebook group is like us throwing shade at realtors.
Angelica K, cracked. What does cracked mean?
I didn't look anything up. Urban Dictionary says, I'm sorry, cracked, the definition is internet gaming term for people who are insanely good at something. Is that all you got?
Okay. What's a belfie?
Is that a type of dog?
No,
Isn't that the dog that you have?
a belf. That's a newfie. A belfie is a selfie of your
Oh,
butt.
I do that occasionally.
What does
Um,
ICYMI mean?
I see why. Is that one of those things where I'm going to spell like
It's an. It's what are they
ICUP?
called? What acronym?
What did you
ACYMI.
say?
Acronym is I don't know what the freaking term.
I
What
see
is that?
what?
ICYMI.
I can't yell. I see why. I can't yell many.
In case you missed it,
Oh, why is that an
don't even say
acronym?
WAP. Do you know what? No, let's not go there. Um,
I know. I do know what that is. I put that
okay.
song in one of my videos. Just a small
What
clip.
does Kappa mean? That's the more Twitch thing. No, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, is it because I'm not on Twitch? I'm not a gamer, so I'm not up to date
Yeah,
on
he just
them.
barely made a. Um. Oh, okay. Is there a public website where I can search to find out one specific home in Arizona? Um.
One quick thing. I've had so much water. I have got to go pee.
Yeah, I
You're
can run
gonna
this
take
without you. Go ahead, get here.
you run it for me for like two
Well,
minutes.
take out the comment first, so that way it's not the same comment.
You
Oh
probably don't
no.
want to hear me either.
Yeah, just take take the comment off. No, okay, okay, everybody. Now that I'm in charge, this is what I really think about Kyle Seagraves. I'm just kidding. Is there a public website you can own specific home? For realtors there are, but it is private information. I'm sure if you Google enough though, and their name, there'll be certain websites where you can actually purchase that information. Believe it or not, your information is not private at all. Jay Z, what happened to my question? Um, Jay Z, your question. How long does it take for an underwriter to review your paperwork before or after conditions? Probably better a question for Kyle. So we're gonna wait for him to get here. Does anyone have any questions for me? Just so you know, my name's Javier. I'm 27. I'm male in Arizona. I like to play Dungeons and Dragons. I run an active Kyle Seagraves fan. If you ever fail as an agent, you can always become a comedian. Love you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. James Hicks, welcome, Javier. Yep. And you love pineapples on your pizza. Dang, 24 rider, old school. Callback. Yes, Stephen Kennedy water. I'm sure he's freaking been drinking that drink. He probably doesn't know what drinking that drink means, huh? Cal's just like, I only drink brandy and cocktails and oh hey, what's up, man?
How'd you do?
Old fashions. Old fashioned. You probably love old fashions.
Ooh, I like a good old fashioned. Man, I'll tell you, the elasticity of my bladder, spot on.
No, we don't have
Because
to know. We don't have
you
to
don't
know.
want to know about that.
No, no.
Are we talking about drinks
Now we're just making fun
and
of
D
you.
and D?
What does lost it? That's something old men would brag about. Yeah, let's just yep,
Dang it!
that's right. That's right.
No,
That's
I've
right.
been I've been practicing holding it.
That's exactly what an old man would say too.
I have to get on medication.
Let's see, mucho gusto. When he
JC said,
cooks,
"What
lol.
happened to my
Guys, that's
question?"
the thing too. Like he said, he didn't have a girlfriend. I know I'm talking to him. I'm talking like he's not here, but he's always on stories with like different girls. So it's like it, that's weird.
Oh man, I have a lot of friends who are girls, um,
Huh?
and a lot of friends who are guys. But yeah, I don't have
Huh?
any girlfriends. I'm
Yep.
telling you, man, I I must be the most boring person because I'll be I'll text someone or message someone for like a day, half a day, and then I never hear from them again. Like what did I do wrong? You haven't even got a chance to see how messed up I am on the other side.
Kyle's idea of a good time is waking up at 3 a.m., making a nice coffee, black, no sugar, no milk, getting the daily paper,
Hmm.
going out of the front yard, and just reading it.
Oh, there's nothing like the snapping
What is
sound
the
of a
Dow
very
up to
good.
today? Oh, the Dow is up today. Very good.
Come on, only young people follow the Dow. It's the S&P. Give me a break.
Okay. What's up, Caballero? Go to sleep. It's late. He's an old soul. That's fine. No, he's an old soul. Yeah, he is an old soul. Yelling at the kids at the lobby. Oh, these damn kids. Going walking.
Yeah, I am an old man. I'm just ready so I want to be old so I can justify my strange tendencies to act like an old man. Um, you haven't had dinner yet? Isn't it like 8 now?
I did. I did have dinner. I
Oh, you
just
did
like
have
chips.
dinner. Gotcha.
Angelica K is a good candidate for being moderator. Just a heads up.
Angelica, you want to do it? You want to be a mod? I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to learn. Javier's going to teach me.
Just right click
It's
her name and put mod.
it's not
Or
that easy, is
on the
it?
right, the three little buttons, push that and make a moderator. She has the ability to ban people and put them in timeout if they're misbehaving.
Ooh, no way. All right, Angelica. Well, I guess I didn't ask for your permission, but you're a mod now. Welcome aboard. Uh,
Their rapport is on point. We
Ban
practice a lot.
Javier. Ban Javier. Oh, she's
Banhammer.
bringing
There
out the
you go.
ban hammer. Let's get it. Let's
You
get
can try.
it.
You can try putting me in a timeout. So let's say, what would somebody that would deserve a timeout would say? Kyle sucks. Um, more like lose the house you hate. Am I right?
Oh, that's a
There.
good one. Haven't
So
heard the negative yet.
there.
Get him. Get him.
Test it out.
I think Zach Vernon needs to be a mod too. You
Your
want to be in
call.
here? I want a sword. You've now been. Come
The
on,
thing
D and
about
D.
Zach
We're role
Brand is he
playing.
hasn't been. He messaged like earlier, but he hasn't really been as involved. But it's your channel, so your call.
Well, Zach, now's the time. It's your time to shine here.
Can you please explain to Kyle why you're worthy of a? Did she ban me? No, yeah, I'm not banned yet. I can't find your message. Oh, Angelica needs some help. Okay, I'm gonna say something else that's bad.
Maybe I
Kyle
already banned
is
you. Maybe I blocked you from the
so
channel.
old. He is ancient,
True. These aren't
and
even mean things. These are just true
he is
things.
not a real nerd. He just dresses like one, and he has multiple women over all the time. There you
Don't
go.
expose
I've
me
been
like
placing the
this.
timeout.
There we go. Nice job,
Do
Angelica.
you see how it says that they did that on your end?
Huh. That's pretty cool. So we yeah, we definitely need to just complete full on ban Javier at some point. Never back, never
No,
allowed
no, just
back.
turn it off, please.
He just comes over here and roasts me in my house and
All right.
eats
Well, actually, I
Doritos while
think
we're trying to be helpful.
it's 8:30 on my end. I'm gonna get going now. Nice seeing you, man.
It was good to see you too. Let's do that collab at some point. You should respond to my texts at some point.
Oh my god, let's see.
I've only cried 3 times. So it's fine. It's fine.
Let's see. All right. Hold on.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, man.
Hold on. No, let's put this to the test. Wait, hold on.
I think Angelica's
Wrong.
feeling the power. What's
It's my
that?
wrong whistle. You're wrong.
Angelica's feeling the power already.
Look how even this message is. See, I'm the blue and he's the black. Look how even that is. He's not being ignored. I'm gonna ignore that photo he put last. I want drama to start. See?
Oh,
See?
we need to get some drama going. I think that would be fun.
No, dude. It's not fun.
But we're in on it. We're in on the fact that it's not drama for us.
I'll make an exposed video on Kyle. Kyle? His name's not even Kyle.
Is he
His
actually a
name's not even
74-year-old man?
Shh. All right. Should I wait to make a career move if I intend to buy this year? I don't think so.
I wouldn't.
If you're waiting on a career move to purchase, then did you even really purchase? Qualify to begin with?
Yeah,
The career move should be helping your DTI be a lot looser so you have more room to save, not helping you so you can qualify. But that's just I tend to be a little more opinionated.
and as long as you're in the same line of work, you're going to be fine as far as qualifying. It sounds like you're probably not purchasing right now. You're purchasing this year, so I would personally make the move, especially if it's going to pay you higher. I wouldn't miss out on that opportunity.
George Harris, that's a good point. I don't even think he plays a guitar. I think he has a ghostwriter. I think he's just kind of like the Tiger King guy who doesn't write his own music or sing his own song. Oh gosh. Okay, so now he has a predetermined, pre-written, and it's a steel string guitar too.
Hold on.
Let me show you a real guitar. Let me show you a
hold
real
on.
guitar.
My classical Cordova's at home. All right, so chill out.
That's your office?
Yeah, this is my office.
Why are you not home? Oh, that's right. There's not a lot of many girls waiting for you.
No, there's too many girls there. That's why I can't do it. And by that,
what kind of Cordova do you have?
Kitty cat. I don't know what its specific name is. You have a classical, right?
Yeah.
I love playing on the Cordova way more than steel string. I just love the way that a classical feels. I used to play classical. I can't remember a single bit.
Did you used to play like classically?
Yes, a long time ago. So see,
like read music,
Stephanie. Yeah, Stephanie has a question.
I'll play a song when he answers.
Yeah, give us some background music here. We'll politely wait for you to start. Can I read this in a fun voice? Hey guys, quick question. Is there any chance of getting a mortgage with only 1 year of self-employed? Yes. If your prior line of work, like if you're doing that same thing, self-employed, you can do it 1 year of only having self-employed tax returns. So as long as it was in the same line of work and you have a 2-year history of doing that previous job, then you'll be fine to do that. A good example would be if you were, let's say you're a graphic designer for 2 years. And then you want to become a graphic designer self-employed, you could get away with 1 year of self-employed tax returns. That resolve.
There, first part
Beautiful.
done.
Beautiful. I didn't know that you could play guitar.
What? Yeah, classical guitar. I was in high school. I played in the guitar group that traveled nationally, but I was going to study in college, but I didn't have a documentation, so I couldn't go.
You guys toured?
We're in a classical guitar program.
Where did you play at?
Maryville High School. It was a high school.
I mean, like when you toured.
Town, but
like when you toured. Like, did you tour?
Oh no, New York. We played in something harmonic or whatever. New Mexico. We went to different competitions. My guitar group, the ensemble I was part of, was the only group to ever get a perfect score on some kind of competition. But I had to let it go, and after high school, I couldn't go to college, so I had to stop. But dang. I just recently picked it up again.
The only tours I've been invited to are like under bridges, people's patios. Mm, there was one time I got invited to play like at a firehouse, but they just played the sirens the entire time. Like, shut up. So I think you're on a
That's
different
not,
caliber than I am.
when is the album dropping?
That's a great question. Never. Forever and never at the same time. And it's gonna like first one's gonna be called Evermore, and the next one's gonna be called Forevermore. Oh wait, did I flip those around?
Not very glam, Kyle. Kyle, there's a lot of things about Kyle you don't know. What's up, T? I can't believe Javier win the house you love, home you love, home you love, or house you love, house you love.
House. Should it be
Glad,
home?
very
It's too. I think it's too late to change it.
home. Same. Evermore, yes. Sorry. No worries, Tease. You're fine. He should change it to Kyle Seagraves, anyways.
Should I? Should I change it back to Kyle Seagraves? Maybe.
Uh, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think so. If it's working, why not?
Yeah, it works.
All right,
If
y'all.
it works,
I'm gonna
don't
get
change
going
it.
now. Have fun. T's Corner Store. Just listen to your last video. What do you think? Little out there. Talked about how people should be using first time homebuyer program. Loved it. Thank
You
you.
thought your last video was out there?
Just sometimes. Since it's interesting is the videos I find the most helpful for people get the least amount of views. Is that crazy? Do you get that too? Like the
Oh
ones
yeah,
where you're just like amazing content, like this is gonna change someone's life, and you know, because I feel like there's too many people that are depending on some kind of program to help them when they can't even save their own down payment. Like that's not gonna be a good position for you, right?
yeah,
But that one just it's not gonna views. It's like the most educational ones are the ones that YouTube doesn't push, but like the sensational housing market meteors crashing, scary face ones are like
yeah.
here's 500,000 views.
The only exception that I found to that are like the loan requirement ones, were like the FHA and USDA ones. But there, I have tons of really helpful stuff on there that has like not a lot of views, and it's helping some people. But I think the hard part is a lot
Yeah,
of people just don't even know what to search to like. They don't even know the question that they have, which I think is just kind of the bigger issue of like there's such a lack of education. I think in the mortgage home buying world that's not all financially centered. Everyone wants
mm.
everyone wants your money. They want you to not know it's a conspiracy.
So
Have to pull your
I'm gonna
tinfoil
end it
hat.
off playing one of Kyle Seager's original songs. I've been listening to it. I've been learning it. Um, it's called hope your beautiful soul enjoyed some homemade pasta. Ready?
Love it.
Here you go.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if he did that on purpose or not. I think he did it on purpose. Oh my. I was so expecting Javier. Come on. Yeah, this is literally what it feels like. This is what dating feels like now. You just get ghosted. Sure, we'll meet up. No problem. Gone. Oh man. Well, it's been 2.5 hours, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And again, if you don't subscribe to Javier's channel, check it out. Javier is a fantastic guy. So thank you all for being here. We'll go live next Thursday or this upcoming Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So bring your questions there, and hope to see you all then.